Hello. What's up tonight, everyone? Welcome. Fine Thursday to you all. Good to see you. What is up, Dylan Hunter, Zanfast, the Mike Arnold? How you doing, Mike? Dogamith, good to see you, dog. Dr. Chandler, Zanfast, Utuka Buddy, Erdem. How is everyone doing today? Tonight is a modern night. We're gonna do some moderning. I want to start off with this interesting Sam and Tax and Sword land destruction deck. I don't even know. I mean, it's like a weird Taxes deck that's splashing deeper Wayfinder of all things. A card that I picked to be one of the worst in the entire set. I thought this was going to be literally the worst card in the entire set, but apparently it's actually not that bad. Apparently it's good with the right land. So we're going to see if we can do some strip mining and some tectonic edging of our opponents in Modern. Pinguino! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. And Dylan Hunter for the 45th month. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. We also have spoilers, of course, and I'm very curious. The big question for today is, how are we feeling about Commander Masters? And I feel like, boy, I have very mixed feelings on this. Emra Brent, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. Let's start with the good news. I'm in a positive mood at the moment. Let's start with the good news about this set. The good news of this set is twofold. First, it does seem like Wizards really is reprinting pretty much all the important cards. We haven't seen Mana Crypt yet. We still gotta see the rest of the free spell cycle. But if you just look through the cards that have been previewed so far, there's not a ton as far as like expensive commander cards that either isn't already in the set or likely to show up in the set. So it does seem like Wizards really is actually printing like all of the good cards. So that's good news number one. Good news number two, hey, welcome Skittles. Good to have you. Welcome to the live stream. Good news number two is there's some really cool art. I really like the showcase style. I know some of it's like Morphon looks a little goofy or whatever, but I really like the showcase style. The new art's really cool. The frame breaks look really neat. So I think the new art is also really good. So those are the two really good pieces of news. Bad pieces of news. The biggest one is I'm still not sold on opening boxes, even though there's a lot of really good high-end stuff in the set. If you look at the rares, boy, there's so many bulk rares, and I know the excuse or the justification is always, well, we gotta have it, we gotta have them there for draft. We need these cards for draft just to round out the draft format. But I was kind of shocked today doing the spoiler video, just like how many 50-cent rares are in the set. There's actually a really high number of just like cards that they're cool. They're gonna play well in limited. Some of them are even neat commanders that just aren't really worth anything, like Sidisi. So they're not bad cards or anything. They're just like, if I'm spending $12 or $16 for a booster pack, do I really want to take the risk that I open a Sidisi and a Curtains Call or something and just kind of, flush that $12 or $16, or if it's a collector booster, I don't even want to think about it, like, just down the drain. So I think that's a bit of a concern. Like, obviously it's focused on limited as much as it's focused on reprints, and I think it's going to be one of those sets that if you look at the EV is really good. Like, I expect because of the high-end stuff, the $100 Capture of Xinghaos and the Jeweled Lotuses and the Ulamags, like, the Great Henges, the Smothering Ties, if you look at all that stuff, I bet the EV is going to be good. But I think the EV is going to be risky, because if you buy a single pack or a couple of packs, it's definitely going to be possible to low roll and just get like 2 bulk rares and end up really sad. So I think the set's doing its job for the most part, though, of getting expensive reprints out. Yoda Man, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big subscription for you. Thank you. I will say, Smothering Tithe at Mythic, not a fan of bumping that up to Mythic. Do you remember Smothering Tithe? They printed Smothering Tithe. It was like, I can actually look this up. They printed Smothering Tithe. It didn't see any meaningful play in standard, so it was super cheap. They printed it in Ravnica Allegiances. Didn't see any standard play, so it was pretty cheap. And then after a little bit, they put it in the Brawl precon decks with Throne of Eldraine. So a few months after it released, you could literally buy $10 or $20 Brawl precons, get an entire deck, and also, I think it was the Chulane precon. So you're getting Chulane too and a bunch of like sweet cards. But in those decks, you would get a Smothering Tithe, one of the best cards in Commander, So it's a little sad to see it go from like, hey, we can throw this in a random precon to, oh, we got to up it to mythic because it's so in demand and so expensive. So that's a slight bit of criticism, but I got 12 smothering ties for under $20 in eBay the week they came out. That is a really good deal. Yeah, those decks I actually picked up a bunch of those decks because I needed the shock lands and I want the smothering ties. So if I ever ran into one like at Walmart or whatever, I would just snag it because it was just like gave me cards that I actually wanted. Those were actually, as much as Brawl ended up flopping as a format, at least standard Brawl, the precons were actually really good. Oh, was it in a Eula? Oh, maybe it was, because the Eula cared about artifacts and enchantments. You're right. I think it was. But you got like Hallowed Fountain, a Eula, Smothering Tithe. Either way. Anyway, let's do our reminders. Today we're playing some Modern. We'll talk about Commander Masters. We'll talk about whatever else. But reminders, replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube. Tons of stuff coming up on there. Spoiler videos. Tomorrow we're playing some Modern for Much Brew. We're doing some wild things in Modern tomorrow for Much Brew. So tons of stuff on the YouTube. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. And if you need some magical cards, maybe from, I don't know, Commander Masters. Maybe you want a Commander Masters boost. Wow, $60. Oh my god. Don't get a Commander Masters booster pack. I take that back. Well, the precons aren't bad though. The precons, oh, does it depend on the, wow, the Eldrazi one's expensive. Interesting. So this makes me think that the Eldrazi precon must be the one people are buying the most. Where's Slivers? Is Slivers even on here? Slivers is probably Eldrazi prices. I'm curious now. I bet Slivers and Eldrazi are the two big ones. Uh-oh, hang on. I hear bear. Hang on, bear! Bear! I hear bear barking. Hang on. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Blame the bear. Blame the bear. Bear me! Bear me! Bear! Come on! Come on, bear! Come on, Mom! People gotta see you. Come on! Come on, Mom! Come on! Come on! Come on, come on! Come on, Mom! Come on! Good boy! Alright, come on! Come in here! Come say hi to everyone! Come on! You gotta say hi. People want to see you. Hang on. Let's see. Let's see. Hang on. Stay right there. You made me get up in the middle of the stream, so now you gotta say hi to everyone. Let's see. Where are they? Hey, there you go, bud. There. Hey, bud. Sit. Can you sit, big boy? There you go. There you go. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to everyone. Yeah. There you go, big face. What are you barking at out there, you silly boy? Yeah, you silly puppy. Hey. You gonna be good while I stream? Okay, here. You can have a treat. Do you want a treat? Here you go. There you go. Okay, you be good. Alright, sorry about that. I blame Bear. I blame the bear. It's the bear's fault. Anyway, it looks like the Eldrazi and Sliver precons are the expensive ones. Die on the plane! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank ya. Oh, yeah, CC doing good. CC just rules the house. Like, she has taken over. I think I mentioned this before. Bear... The new thing is Bear is like super worried about her taking his bones. So if she ever walks in and he has a bone around, he gets very, very nervous that that CC's coming for the bone. He does not understand that cats just do not care about such things. But she got this little cat tower thing and she loves it. She like sits on it in the sun and just she has the best cat life ever, I think. Did it ever turn out that she got fixed? So I took her to the vet. They said they thought that she had been fixed, but they weren't 100% sure. I'm starting to wonder though, because I've heard her yowling a couple times, which might mean that she's in heat. When I went to the vets, their way of telling if the cat was fixed was just like feeling her stomach to see if there was a scar. And they're like, I think I feel one, but I'm not 100% sure, so I don't know. Anyway, those are reminders for today. Oh yeah, Discord, check it out if you're interested. Bearby, settle down, boy, he's being loud today. Merch page, token t-shirts, playmats, giveaways, support the stream of the channel, the site donations, always appreciated, never required. $2 or more gets your message read on stream. Kodavo, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super share for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Bearby, bud. Do you gotta keep barking so much, bud? We can hear you. So what are we playing today? We are starting off with a deck I'm very intrigued by. So this is a 61 card special Tax's Stoneblade style deck for Modern. Why am I intrigued by this deck? So on one hand, it's got some stuff that you would expect. So if you're playing a Stoneblade deck, you got Stoneforge, you got Equipment Defined, Banner Skull, Cauldron Complete, Light and Shadow, Sword of Fire and Ice. It's cool to see the OG swords. So you don't see those very often anymore. So that makes sense. Solitude is just the new Path to Exile, essentially. Like, it's your removal spell. Archon of Emiria slows down combo decks. And then the part that really intrigues me, I guess Extraction Specialist Thalia, those are normal too. Ether Vial to cheat things into play, give her runes for protection. The thing that intrigues me are these two 2-drops right here. These are the cards that really drew my eye to this deck. Number one is Samwise the Stout-Hearted. We played this a little bit in Historic recently. It works really well with lands that go to your graveyard. When the ETBs, you return a permanent that went to your graveyard from the battlefield, this turn into your hand, and you get tempted by the ring. So in our deck, we can get back Field of Ruin to blow up another land. We can get back Tectonic Edge, old school land destruction for Modern, to blow up a land. We can get back Horizon Canopies to draw cards. We can get back Windswept Teeth just to filter through our deck. The other card that really intrigues me is a card that I honestly called one of the worst cards. Maybe it was on my top 5 worst cards from March of the Machines, Deeproot Wayfinder. Deeproot Wayfinder is one of those cards that in Modern might actually be good. It's not actually good in Standard. Kind of a little bit like Deathrite Shaman. Deeproot Wayfinder, when it deals combat damage to a player or a battle for some reason, you surveil one, then you return a land from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. This is another way that we can get back Field of Ruins. We can get back Horizon Canopies. We can get back Tectonic Edges to just really attack our opponent's mana base. So because we're in Modern and we have a lot of lands that can put themselves in the graveyard, maybe Deeproot Wayfinder is actually a good card. So that's essentially the plan of the deck. The sideboard, a bunch more creatures. If you want to one-ring us, well, we play Addict Teague. If you want to cheat an Archon into play, we Containment Priest. If you want to cast an Adventure, you Dranith Magistrate. If you are black and red, we got Sanctifier, we got Skyclave for removal, Metropolis Reformer for burn. So that's the plan of the deck. Little white creatures, little green creatures, some Sam, some swords, some Deeproot Wayfinder. So let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot and see if this deck works. Have you ever heard of the Judge Tower format? I have not. I've heard of the Judge Tower format, but I couldn't tell you the rules of the Judge Tower format. What are the actual rules of Judge Tower? Is that the one where you get to, like, make up any card and just play it? Like, if you can think of it, you play it? The sideboard sounds like you want 4 Eladrami Skull. Eladrami Skull could be good. I mean, I wonder if it's worth it. Maybe. I might want to be even more, let's just try it as it is. Let's try it as it is and we'll go from there. Might even want to be more toolboxy if we're going to go for the tutor plan. So wait, what is Judge's Tower? What's the TLDR? It's torture. I will say, if you don't watch the Card Market YouTube, Card Market might be my favorite Magic YouTube at the moment. I mean, of course, MTG Goldfish YouTube, that's number one, obviously. But but seriously, I really enjoy the stuff that Card Market's putting out. Card Market, they've really been crushing it and doing some really cool, interesting things. So definitely check them out. I haven't seen the Judge Tower video though. I saw it like in my recommends, but I didn't actually watch it yet. The Toady Back, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to you for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness, thinking of YouTube, did you see the Alex Bertoncini ramp? That might be the most hilarious thing to happen in Magic in so long. I did not have Alex Bertoncini returns to rap about his cheating on my 2023 bingo card. It was I said I saw it before? Did I really? I don't even remember. I know, maybe hang on, I'm gonna actually look up this video. Maybe I did watch it and I don't remember. Maybe I did watch it and I didn't remember that I watched it. Let me see. Let's pull this up.
You see that? Yeah, it's a lot of cards.
Have I watched this video?
An ensemblance of the most difficult cards to play we could find. It's called Judge Tower. One mistake and you lose.
No, I haven't watched it.
What are you gonna get yourself into?
You can play it in like my.
Wait, do you play off the same deck?
So I go first? Yes, sir. All right, let's give it a go. Oh, wait. You can play it in like my. Exhibit A, you lose. I wasn't thinking my. Okay, it's even difficult.
Oh, okay. I think I did. I don't know if did they do another one of these? You got to play every card as soon as you draw it. All optional moves are mandatory to the extent you can fulfill them. You must activate every activated ability and permanence you control once a turn. Per legal targets as soon as legally possible. Always activated abilities from the bottom of the card up. I don't remember if I've watched this or not, actually. That actually sounds really funny, though. The Card Market YouTube does some funny things. Their video of of Magic with the rules changing was pretty good. I like that one too. That was a funny idea. They just have some funny ideas. Stream mode achieved. All right, we will play first. Pia 2.0. I've seen Pia's actually kind of catching on as a real card, which is kind of interesting. How have you got to play the deck yet, Nathan? I'm curious. I haven't really watched it yet. I honestly don't know. Ooh, no lands. I honestly don't know what happened in the Biovisionary video. How bad did it go for Krim? Was it as bad as I'm imagining? I haven't actually seen it while we were really hoping this Ether Vial sticks. If this Ether Vial doesn't stick, we pretty much lose on the spot. It's nice to see Torf and Jammin. I remember them from Arena Boys. Yeah, Arena Boys was a fun. Oh, they're Troning. Okay, that's fine. We just need to draw our Field of Ruins. Maybe this deck wants Ghost Quarters. Forest. That's the least powerful land we could draw right now. All right, pass the problem with Tron is Tech Edge is pretty bad because if they have 4 lands, we're probably dead. WJ! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you. Krim won? No, he won. I tried to make sure that wasn't possible. When I built the deck for him, I did not think he would have any chance. Well, that's sweet. Well, okay, opponent's gonna have Tron next turn in this. Might be a quick one. We'll take up the Vial. Deep Root Wayfinder A. Well, yeah, your go. Actually, you know what? We should probably be vialing in Thalia, I guess. I don't think this really saves us, but vialing in Thalia does seem helpful. But wait, what was the sideboard card that carried? Oh, Surge? Probably Surge's Salvation. Surge's Salvation was the one card that actually could protect the Biovisionaries. Opponent. Oh, he won by not knowing. Oh, Karn the Great Creator. That shuts down our Ether Vial. Well, GG. GG. So, Commander Masters. How are we feeling about Commander Masters? Yeah, okay. Sure, yes. Oh no, that was not even a little. Okay, sideboard. What do you got for Tron? Gaddock Teague is kind of good. Everything else is horrible. Okay. That's fine. Archon of Emeria doesn't seem great against this deck. Let's go up Gaddocks. We could bring in Skyclave. Skyclave at least kind of does something. Are our swords even good? Sword of Light and Shadow seems pretty bad. Maybe something like this. Oh yeah, that's right. We're the 61 card special. I forgot. All right, something like this. Actually, no. Let's go with the Giver. Let's try it like that. Yeah, the Fall of Karendros deck was actually really sweet. It's not consistent enough to really be good because you really need Nykthos. Like if you have Nykthos, I don't know. What do you think about these Tech Edges? I really want Ghost Quarter. I really want Ghost Quarter. Maybe we drop and add Ghost Quarter. I feel like Ghost Quarter might be necessary. Well, what about like Ghost Quarter, Leonin Arbiter? Ghost Quarter, Leonin Arbiter, doesn't that seem better than Tech Edge? Maybe there's a reason we haven't seen Tech Edge in like a million years. Christofuck, welcome to the Fishbowl. So this is a deck someone played to a 501 Moto, so I didn't actually build this one. I just saw the cool cards and was like, hey, we're gonna play this. But now I'm wondering if Tech Edge is just wrong. Maybe we change it. Any arguments to ever play the 59 card special? If you really want to get a ban, if you're tired of Magic and you wanna get a quick little suspension, I think that the 59 card special is a good way to go about it. Otherwise, not really, no. About it. I mean, so technically you're allowed to play more than 60 cards, but you're not allowed to play less than 60 cards. Maybe this matchup is just tainting our perception of Tectonic Edge, because I feel like Ghost Quarter or Field of Ruin would be so good here, but instead we have Tectonic Edge, which isn't doing it. Oh, 2 Tectonic Edges, which aren't doing anything. All right, get in, hit ya. Oh my goodness. Okay, wow, we're gonna be a turn slow. Oh, that was like the best surveil too. All right, well, play Tech Edge. Play the file, pass the turn. I mean, if we untap, we're gonna get them. If we untap, do we untap? Is there any chance we untap? About it. Are you playing Big Karn? Opponent. Opponent. Going after our Tech Edge. Well, okay. I mean, this is kind of okay. We get to put Sam into play. We got nothing to get back. But we get tempted by the ring. There is a trick with Tech Edge, but your opponent needs to be at 4 mana for it to work. You can activate multiple Tech Edges with the ability on the stack to get rid of multiple lands, but that is the best trick. Forest, not the best. Well, go to combat, kill the Karn. Play a Tech Edge, pass the turn. About it. Any plans to do a rough draft for LTR Limited? I don't know. I was gonna do one, but then I ended up doing other stuff and haven't got to it. So at this point, I'm not sure. Do you still want one? I mean, we're gonna finish this match. We're gonna finish this match for sure. So perhaps we drop after this match, but we're definitely going to finish this match at least. Okay, Relic of Progenitus. Is our opponent just going to refuse to play and draw some cards? Are they just going to refuse to play a land for the rest of the game? So we can't activate our Tech Edges? It's starting to look that way. Well, okay. I mean, Tron isn't a deck that's like super... Well, I guess it's gotten more popular with the One Ring. No and yes. Well, that's a Stone Forge. That's a thing. Not a thing that does anything right away because of the One Ring, Pretty Busterino, but it is a thing that could do something eventually. Well, when it deals combat damage, I guess we're just gonna pass. Yeah, I'm feeling like Ghost Quarter, Leon, and Arbiter might be the way to go. That might be the best option. Could play 8 fields too. About it. Wow, gives up on the relic, draws a card. How do we beat a One Ring? How does anyone beat a One Ring? Last year I bought 2 collector booster boxes of 2XM because they released around my birthday. Felt like burning money. I'm making less money at my current job, but I need to spend money on textbooks since I'm accepted to my local college recently. So I can't say I'm spending a ton on Commander Masters yet. Congratulations, Mega Magic. What are you going for college-wise? Ugin the Ineffable. No effing with Ugin. Those are the rules. Expedition map. Our opponent's really just not going to play a land. They're really just not going to play a land. Ticks down to get our Deeproot Wayfinder. Okay. I mean, this is actually kind of cute. All these Sam synergies. Opponent plays a forest. Ancient Stirring. Okay, so. All right, so how do we do this? Let this resolve. Oh, this is actually going to be good. Our opponent finally played a land, so now we get to wreck him a little bit. Now we can just blink the Sam and get it back. All right, opponent gets another tower. So we want to go power plant mine. So, okay, this is going to be a neat end of turn. So we get to step 1 Ether Vial. Put a Stoneforge Mystic into play. Get a Cauldra Complete. And then we ephemerate the Samwise to get back the Deeproot Wayfinder. We'll make Sam our Ring Bearer. Then we'll vial the Deeproot Wayfinder into play. How much do we care about? 1, 2, blink that. Okay, this is gonna be a cool. Oh, this is gonna be a cool turn. So we get to untap. Let's see if I can do this properly. So we untap. So we get a bunch of triggers. We put these triggers on with the triggers on the stack. We're going to maintain priority. Tectonic Edge, target your Urza's Mine. Tectonic Edge, target your Urza's Power Plant. Blow up the land. Blow up the land. Vial goes up to 3. 1 stays on 2. Ephemerate resolves. We can blink the Sam. Sam can get back a Tectonic Edge. We can make Deeproot Wayfinder our Ring Bearer. Now we finally go to our draw step. We play Tectonic Edge. We Stoneforge to put Cauldra into play. Go to combat. Kill Ugin. Hit our opponent. And that was a turn. That was a turn. Discard a Sam. Since we drew Extraction Specialist, did ya? That was actually really cool. Opponent's down to 2 lands. Tron is offline. The One Ring's dealing damage. They can't reassemble Tron this turn. We might be beating Tron. I think we might be beating Tron. Okay, those are some synergies. Hey, welcome, Pestelvox. Good to have you on the stream. About it. Tower. How's that One Ring, opponent? How's the power of the ring now? Now that you're actually being pressured. This is the same Sam that's in the One Ring bundle. Yes. I believe this is the Sam in the One Ring bundle. Sam, Frodo, Gollum, and One Ring. So what did you say, Magikarp? You going for computer science? Wow, opponent scoops it up. Cannot overcome the power of our mighty tech. So maybe Tech Edge is not bad. Hey, what's up, Duke Silver? What's up, Sephrod? How you doing? I'd love to 1v1 you on Arena. Is that possible? So probably not today, but we do viewer battle streams where that's kind of the theme, is playing against viewers. So we'll do another one of those. I gotta get one on the schedule at some point. So yes, at some point, but tonight we're gonna be playing Magic Online, playing some Modern. But I'll definitely make sure that you have a heads up for when we do our next viewer battle stream. Same Sam, different art. I like this art. I think the showcase style actually fits the rig. Oh my god. So question: how many of you actually own a One Ring? Not the One Ring, just a One Ring. So we had a Commander Clash today. This was the first Commander Clash where we actually had the One Ring to play with, because before it was not available for the loan programs. Have you got to play with it in Commander at all? This was the first time I played with the One Ring in Commander. I thought the One Ring would be really good in Commander, like arguably, a staple in Commander. I can't even describe how strong the card is. Like, yeah, Brawl is probably similar. Like, I was actually really, truly just blown away by how strong it's like. It's kind of over the top to the point where I'm starting to worry that it's actually an unhealthy card for Commander. Maybe I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's not an unhealthy card for Commander, but I was actually just like shocked by how strong it was. Yeah, you draw so many cards. The protection makes it like a colorless Teferi's protection almost. Like so many things about it are just over the top. And then I didn't realize you can also like loop it. You can copy it with clones. If you have a Phyrexian Metamorph and get a protection again, you can bounce it back to your hand, do it again. Like, so here's the question. Like, is there any reason to not play it in Commander? Yeah, we're about to die here, aren't we? Is there any reason to not play it? Like, I feel like it's a other than budget, the fact that it's really expensive. Is this just not another Arcane Signet or Soul Ring that, like, if you're trying to build your deck optimally, you would play it in literally every single deck possible? And I think cards like that are actually a negative for the Commander format. I don't think we want cards like that to exist in Commander. I don't think they're healthy for Commander. All right, opponent's going to Ugin to destroy our Stoneforge, and we can't protect it. Well, that's awkward. And a Relic of Progenitus, also a smidge awkward. And eats the graveyard, okay. And even more relics, sure. Wait, what did they tutor up with? What did they tutor up? Power Plant? I think it was Power Plant they tutored up. Oh, I guess we can look. It was Power Plant. All right, well, take up the Ether Vial. Being on the draw is tough. Well, Field of Ruin. How do we overcome a Ugin though with no Stoneforge? This is just gonna make a ton of fodder. Yeah, I feel like that's the thing about Tron. One turn, only one turn is all you really need to kind of put the game out of reach most of the time. So I think our opponent just like they won the die roll. They got turn 3 Tron. They played their big thing. We can disrupt Tron now, but I think it's too late to matter because we just lose to the Ugin. Has viewer submissions for viewer submitted EDH deck closed? I got the best Esper Zombie Waste Snot deck. It is not. Submissions are open through the weekend. We're going to be recording the episode on Monday. So, through the weekend, send in your submissions. The earlier the better. I don't know when everyone else will look at them. People will probably start picking their decks over the weekend. So I guess to be 100% safe that everyone sees it, by the end of the week would probably be better. Because I expect some people are going to pick their deck over the weekend. But technically through the weekend, submissions are open. So let me see here. The easiest way to do it is, let me get you a link. If you go to the MTG Goldfish Ensnaring Bridge, okay. If you go to the MTG Goldfish Commander YouTube and go to the community tab, there's a post here asking for submissions. So if you put it there, everyone is guaranteed to see it. It's everyone will check that. You can also just email it to me if you want, or whoever, Seth at mtggoldfish.com or Krim or Tomer at mtggoldfish.com. That's also an option, but the best way is just stick it in that link if you have access to it. Also, if you don't have access to it, the article on the Goldfish site also works. That's another place everyone will look. Well, okay. Opponent playing Ensnaring Bridges. I mean, we do technically have an answer to the bridge. We do not have an answer to the Ugin, though. Of Emerit. So, well, okay. Guild of Gwyn number 2. And blow up your power plant again. I mean, we're trying to keep him off Tron. We are trying. Do you play Paper Magic? If so, what's your favorite modern deck? I play Scapeshift Tron and Rug Delver. By the way, I love the Turbo Fog deck. I remember those days of people getting salty. Yeah, I do enjoy making people salty in Magic for some reason. I'm such a nice person, except when it comes to playing Modern. Playing Magic, I guess. I don't play much Paper Magic, honestly. I play some Commander. I've never really been a tournament Modern player, though. I built my My one paper modern deck, I was like, I really gotta have a paper modern deck because I go to events and people want to like play against me. So I built mono red prison, and I felt so bad. People would come up to me at like Magic Cons or whatever, GP Vegas. They're like, oh, I really want to play a game with you. I got this cool modern deck. Can we please jam a game? I'm like, oh yeah, like sure, yeah, but I only actually have one modern deck, and it is trying to cast Blood Moon on turn 1. So yes, fortunately, I guess the deck ended up getting bad after they banned Simian Spirit Guide. So I recently tore it apart. I have most of the pieces though, so I guess I could build something out of it. I guess I really should build a paper modern deck again just to have around. About it, gets and hits us. Yeah, I'm not feeling confident. Not feeling confident about this one. Not feeling great. Not feeling great at all. So many Skyclaves. So many useless Skyclaves. Yeah, there's no. All right. Okay, that was a warm up. I think something we gotta fix that part of the deck. Hang on. Let's pull up this deck list real quick. We can fix this. We're gonna pretend like that never happened. Hello. What's up? This fine Thursday, everyone. Welcome. Okay, so there's only supposed to be one forest. What? I'm missing another land. One forest. Oh, it's supposed to be a plains. Okay. The 2 forests were a little clunky. That makes more sense. So it's supposed to have the plains. Okay, so. We wanted to add Leonin Arbiter. How do we find room for these cards? So we wanted Leonin Arbiter. Leoning. I mean, if we're going to do this, we just got to go all in on the land destruction, right? Wow, I have 11 cat Jesuses. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we're going to do it, we just got to go all the way. What do we cut though, chat? That's the problem. What do we take out of our deck? So we can do that. I don't think the tech edges aren't the end of the world. They're just slow. I feel like Ghost Quarter is probably better. It's gotta be better, right? It's gotta be. If we're adding Arbiter, it's definitely gotta be better. And it also works well with Sam, and it also works well with Deeproot Wayfinder. We can keep some tech edges. Ugh. All right, how do we make this work? Gotta cut the fetches. I don't know if we can cut the fetches though. They also work well with Sam and Deeproot Wayfinder. Like all of our mana base. Do we got all the tech edges? I guess so. The issue is tech edge is guaranteed. Tech edge is guaranteed to do something on like turn 4. Ghost Quarter, if we don't have Leonin Arbiter, doesn't do anything. Yeah, I could see trimming Arbiters. I don't even know if Arbiters are like that good right now. Trim a couple Arbiters. Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Maybe we... do we have to cut our fetches? Oh, will our mana even function without fetches? Will we cast anything ever without fetches? Oh, that's so... They also are so good with Sam. Oh, Deeproot Wayfinder. Oh. Wait, what about even Mind Sensor? What about even Mind Sensor instead of Arbiter? How about that? No Leonin Arbiter instead of even Mind Sensor. It kind of does the same thing, right? It kind of does the same thing, except we can play our fetch lands because it only hits our opponent. Is that the worst idea ever? It also flies. Look out. Isn't Arbiter better? So Arbiter is better, except it also affects us. So if we're going to play fetch lands, like our fetch lands kind of non-bow with Arbiter. Let's try Mind Sensor. So try Mind Sensor. We can keep our fetches. We'll trim the tech edges. We'll trim one. We'll go 4 planes. And then non-lands, we'll go down. We're going to cut the Amirias, I think. I don't know if Archon of Amiria is actually good enough. Maybe this is why it's the 61 card special, because what's the last cut at this point? What's the last cut? Maybe like go down Draneth Magistrate, go down Archon. Let's start like that. All right, 61 card special still. Here we go. Seth, have you tried to play Mech Titan Core? I could really use some help getting it to swing. So I remember playing Mech Titan Core. Let's try this again. Sandblade take 2 this time with Leo and an Arbiter. I feel like we're just rebuilding the historic deck, adding Arbiters. Mech Titan Core, we played it for against odds right after it released. Like back, so a year and a half ago now, right after Kamigawa came out. I have not really messed around with it since then. I did find, from what I remember, that it's actually not that hard to flip because there's a lot of good vehicles. The challenge is there's a lot of sweepers, like farewells, that can really wreck it. And kind of more depressingly, the token itself isn't guaranteed to win the game. So sometimes you do all the work to get the Mech Titan and your opponent just deals with the token. But it's still a... Wait. Oh, did I say Arbiter? Wait, did we get the deck? Did I mess up this deck list again? Okay, yes. There's no Arbiters. Yes, I think I just misspoke. With Aven Mind Sensors, not Arbiters. Hey Seth, I will start on Commander. Do you have some lists that have synergy between themselves to play 2-on-2 tournament but budget? Ooh. So I've only played 2-on-2 Commander one time. We played an episode on Commander Clash. I teamed up with Richard, and we built his deck. My deck was supposed to intentionally lose life and life swap, and his deck was supposed to intentionally gain life. That was the idea of the deck. I think it went really horribly and we lost, if I remember right. So I do not actually have any Commander decks that are built for 2-on-2 play. Does anyone have any 2-on-2 Commander decks? Also, speaking of 2-on-2, so last weekend I had to go see some friends. We were out at this restaurant and they were playing, like, I don't even know. It was probably like ESPN 8 or something, the Ocho, whatever it was. But they were playing pickleball, and it looked intriguing. Has anyone played pickleball? All I know of pickleball, I saw it on this ESPN thing at a restaurant, and then I also heard it was either NPR or a podcast where there were very angry tennis players who were very salty that how do we always draw our forest? Were very salty that pickleball was taking over their courts, and they were gonna have it out with those dirty pickleball players who were just ruining the grand old game of tennis. Is pickleball, is it worth it? Is it fun? 2 mill decks would be sweet. What can you tell me about Pioneer? Oh, what would you like to know about Pioneer, PlayStation Guru? Pioneer, so, I mean, if you're looking for the, oh no, hammer time. So Pioneer is modern, but with a smaller card pool. The idea is for it to be a non-rotating format, so your cards are always good in it. The difference is Modern has like 20 years of cards. Pioneer has 10-ish years of cards at this point. It's kind of Modern light. My expectation is actually that it will supplant Modern in the future. I don't think we're there yet. Modern's still very popular, but my expectation is over the next like few years, we'll see more players play Pioneer and more support from Wizards for Pioneer and less for Modern. I think we'll see Modern turn eventually into like Legacy. Legacy, I think, will kind of fade away as a paper format, at least. It'll probably still see digital play, but I think that Pioneer will be the next big thing in like 5 years. Why do you think that? It's kind of the natural progression of things. The natural progression of Magic formats is there's a format, and players like it. And then eventually Wizards prints things that they don't like and people get tired of the format, or it gets so big and it's got so many old cards that it becomes too expensive for most players. And then a new format's created. The old format doesn't go away, but it kind of just, it starts to fade a little bit into the background, while the new format becomes more and more popular. But then eventually that new format will get Pioneer Horizons, and it'll have 20 years of cards, and those cards will end up being really expensive, and it'll price people out of the format, and then there'll be a cry from the community that we want a non-rotating format, but it's got to be cheaper. We need cheaper cards. We don't want all these old cards. Like, what do I care about cards from 20 years ago anyway? And then we'll start another format, and the cycle of life will repeat itself. I think that is kind of how formats work in Magic. That's my perception of how formats work. Also, like, Pioneer does have a lot going for it. Like, it is a fun format. There's a lot of playable decks. It doesn't have all the Horizons cards, which I think is an upside for a lot of players. Ugh, this is painful, but how about a Solitude? To get rid of an Inkmoth Nexus, we would actually really love to draw a way to deal with this Urza saga. All right, sure. Opponent, passing. We take up our Vial. The Mind Sensor could kind of do it someday. Windswept Teeth. All right, play the Windswept Teeth. Ooh, pass the turn. Actually, should we play the Sword? I think we should play the Sword. Let's crack Windswept Teeth. Let's get down the Sword of Fire and Ice. Show our opponent who the real equipment deck is. Pass the turn. Do you think we'll be getting Pioneer Masters soon? I think that we'll get Pioneer Masters eventually. But I would not be surprised if it was a couple years in the future. I don't think that right now... Like, so prices can always be cheaper. I'm always in favor of, like, reprint more stuff, make prices cheaper. Honestly, though, if you look at Pioneer right now, it's not in a bad spot as far as accessibility. Like, if you just look at the top tier decks, it actually kind of blew me away. Like, if you look at Standard, 300, 400, 300, super cheap mono red aggro, 150, 500, 300, 400, almost 500. If you look at those prices and you go to Pioneer, Rakdos is high end, over 600, but Nykthos 450, 400, 200, 400, 400, 200, 300, 600. Like, the price of buying a Pioneer deck that will never rotate is honestly not that different than buying a Standard deck right now. Especially if you're, like, a little bit budget conscious. Like, you don't buy Rakdos because it's super expensive, or a Yarian deck because it's super expensive, and you buy something that's, like, mid-tier as far as prices. Like, I don't know. So it could always be cheaper. I would always like it to be cheaper. But I actually think that Pioneer is, like, not that expensive at the moment. You got a deck at all using Thran Temporal Gateway. Oh, I got wrecked by Thran Temporal Gateway. Do you remember, how do we do this? Oh, this is actually very interesting. Very, very interesting. I mean, we're at risk of dying. So our opponent, this is a big turn. So our opponent can Urza Saga, make a construct. Well, play Ghost Quarter. So we can Violent Mind Sensor. Here's what I think we do. I think we pass the turn. This is a little greedy. We pass the turn. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I'm actually kind of excited about Boomer John coming to Arena. I just want to play once we get the anthology. I just want to play 2015 Modern Jund on Arena and see if it can win. Can it win at all? Can we even win a game with 2015 Modern Jund? That was probably my favorite era. I don't know if it's just, how long have you been playing Magic, chat? How have you been around for when did you start? I'm curious. Because I have, like, very nostalgic feelings for All right, so opponent's going to make a construct. We're going to go greed mode. So I think what we do here is we Ether Vial. We could get wrecked by this. We're going to put an Aven Mind Sensor into play. Ghost Quarter. Intuitively, we should go after the Urza Saga. I think we got to go high roll. So here's the high roll play. We blow up the Inkmoth Nexus. Our opponent won't have the mana to Urza Saga again. They sack it and fizzle because of the Mind Sensor. The downside is if we target this Inkmoth and they hit a Plains in their top 4, then they get to Urza Saga and we could just lose, but I think we got to go for it. Ghost Quarter. Blow up the Nexus. Okay, so a lot of you have been playing for a while. Cons, wow, 97, 90, that's before me. I started around original Ravnica. Theros block. Oh, they hit the Plains. Oh, wait, no. How many Plains are they playing? Did we just get wrecked? Did we just low roll? No. Opponent. Well, now we most likely lose. How many Plains in a Hammer Time deck list? Hammer Time, mono white. All right, so they probably have 10. That's a pretty big number. Well, now there's some really big constructs. So my question was, I tend to think of like 2015, maybe 2014 to 2017, somewhere in that range. No. All right, fair enough. Wow. Okay, so maybe even Mind Sensor just is horrible. we Ghost Quartered, opponent hits the Plains in the top 4. They Urza Saga, hit a Colossus Hammer in the top 4. Oh, yeah, maybe we're gonna be dropping again. Maybe we gotta drop again and add in Cat Jesus. I mean, I guess we can play Cat Jesus and fetch lands and just accept that it's gonna get us sometimes. Maybe that's the best play. Just go for it and hope for the best. So I tend to think of that era of Magic as being like one of the peaks of Magic, like Cons in Standard, 2015 era Modern. But I've always wondered, is that just me being nostalgic? Is that my personal biases? Like, do I remember that fondly for whatever personal reasons of the game? Or was that actually like a really good era of Magic? So I'm curious, if you've been playing for a while, what do you think of that? Like, is that era actually better than most or one of the best? Or is that just me being like super biased and misremembering what it was actually like? Didn't like the lands in Standard. Ever ran into people playing the bullcrap Slimly 9 Lives? I got whooped by it the other day. Ah, yes. Well, no, I don't run into people playing it that much. Usually I am the person playing it, but I have run into it a few times. I love prison decks like that, Duke. I am very evil when it comes to my Magic deck building, I guess. I like the really mean decks. All right, let's run it like that. Timestyle Lore and Shadow were his favorite era of Standard, but it was a really good era of Standard. See, during the Timestyle Lore era, that's like right around when I first started playing. And that's when I was like relatively casual. Like I wasn't up on the Standard meta, wasn't doing that stuff. So I know that Standard and I love those sets. Like Timestar was one of my all-time favorite blocks. But as far as like actually remembering like playing with and against those decks, I know that iconic decks of that era, but actually playing with it at the time, a little bit before I really started playing more competitively. I got nothing else. I love prison decks. Also, I was just salty. Yeah, those decks all are very salt-inducing. That is for sure. All right, maybe when it all comes back to it, maybe we just need Cat Jesus, Sakarda's Aid again. All right, and an Ornithopter. See, if we had Cat Jesus here, you know what? I think we're gonna drop and add Cat Jesus. We're gonna spend all of our play points dropping from leagues just to end up with Cat Jesus and then anyway. Let's play a land and play a Phantley. And our opponent Hammer us now, will ya? I started playing in beta. I used to collect sports cards. Then the card shop got magic. Me and my friends bought some starter decks, got hooked. I remember those 90 era sport cards when I was growing up. Oh. Yeah, I remember who did I collect? Hakeem Olajuwon. I had a really mean collection of Hakeem Olajuwon cards. I was always pretty, well, I mean, not tall in the grand scheme of things, like pro athletes, but tall for a normal person. So had to always have the centers. I always liked the centers. X-Men cards. I don't know anything about that. Opponent gets and hits us. Are there actually X-Men cards? Opponent passes. Well, okay. Maybe we just die quickly. Ether Vial. Take it up. We get a planes, but how do we stop a huge ornithopter? So Ghost Quarter doesn't do anything at the moment. Maybe we should have just stuck with the original build. So let's play a Ghost Quarter. And go attack. Do we even go attacking? How do we not die? How do we not die to ornithopters? So if we go attacking with Thalia, it probably makes more sense to block. All right, pass it. I guess we're just in full-on jump block mode. But can you imagine Splinter Twin with 2023 Modern interaction? I actually think that Splinter Twin would be very medium in current Modern. I think it would be bad because of all the interaction. If that's what you were suggesting, then yeah, I agree. I think that there's too much cheap interaction for it to be as effective as it used to be, and it's a turn 4 combo deck, and turn 4 is a little slow for Modern overall, I would say. Well, we will jump. We'll lose our Thalia. Ether Vial. Put a Sam into play. Get back to Thalia. I'm like 6'3.5-ish. 6'3", 6'4", somewhere in that range. I don't get it. Is your name Goldfish? I've been to a website called Goldfish. So this is the MTG Goldfish stream. Probably the same website that you've been to if it was mtggoldfish.com. My name is not Goldfish. No, I am Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive. I'm the content manager for Goldfish. I do a lot of the content, and so really when it comes, Richard is the owner of Goldfish. He does the back end stuff, like as far as programming the site and that kind of stuff. That's a Richard stuff. I do the kind of the front end stuff as far as the content and that side of stuff. Is anyone actually named Goldfish? If I ever have a kid, I might just name him Goldfish in honor of the site. Lil Goldfish. Alright, I'm gonna kill our Ether Vial. That's not fun. We needed that, opponent. We needed that. You know, this is looking worse and worse. Worser and worser, I say. I mean, game 1 we kind of got hilariously wrecked. Horizon Canopy, eh? Well, You know, I feel like this chump blocking doesn't get us anywhere, though. I mean, we can just keep chump blocking, but how does this lead to us ever winning this game? So play it, because if they ever draw a hammer, they just get us with the Ink Moth. Well, I guess we got to get in with Sam. No, actually, I think we want Sam to die. We want Sam to die, so we chump with Sam, get it back with Extraction Specialist, so we get tempted and can start looting. What is Crim's job? It's a good question. I've never figured that out. Professional control player? Semi-pro troll? Oh, did you really just draw the hammer, opponent? I mean, I guess we have the Ghost Quarter, so it's not like we're just dead if they put the hammer on the Ink Moth, but... Alright, we will block with the Sam. Opponent is going to Colossus Hammer. Put it on the Ink Moth. So we have to Ghost Quarter, or else we straight up die. Oh, I wish we had Cat Jesus. I wish we had Cat Jesus. About it. Professional control player, semi-pro troll. Honestly, like, I don't know. Krim is a good troll, but I actually think I'm in roughly as good of a troll as Krim is. We come at it from very different ways. I'm a much more straight-faced style of trolling. Krim's a little bit more over the top, I think, with his trolling style. But I think I can give Krim a run for his money when it comes to trolling. Watching the 100th episode podcast, I was concerned how much my taste aligned with Krim. Yeah, that is a little scary, isn't it? That is a little scary. All right. 1, 2, 3. So we extraction specialist. Get back, Sam. How exactly all of this leads to us winning, that remains to be seen. But so extraction specialist, get back, Sam. Tempted by the ring for Thalia, so we can loot with Thalia. I guess a sword could be good. All right, no legal targets. Thalia becomes the ring bearer. Ooh, yeah. What's your favorite movie, chat? That came up. I'm so bad at those questions. So bad at those questions. Whenever the question's about like your favorite movie, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so bad at that. I just don't keep up on pop culture stuff. How old am I? I am 21, of course. Obviously. Same as Vince. No, I'm also 39. Twinsies. I've never watched Lawrence of Arabia. I know it's a classic, but I've never actually watched it. Can you tell us the story of MTG Goldfish, how it came to be? I give you. So Richard is probably the best person to tell the story because he knows. I came into Goldfish. Ooh, I also like Fight Club. I came into Goldfish about a year after Richard. So Goldfish started, I want to say 2013, maybe it was 2012. But it started just as a project for Richard. Richard was playing a lot of Magic Online and realized there wasn't a good way to get card prices for Magic Online. So he's a programmer, so he realized, I can just build a website that'll track these prices for me. And then ended up kind of like being used by people, and then decided he wanted to add content to the site, and that's kind of how I inadvertently ended up working for Goldfish. We actually had met on a Reddit is where we had first met. I used to post like EV breakdowns of stuff on Reddit, and he had read one of them and reached out to me. The first time he messaged me, I actually didn't even message him back because I didn't think it was actually a real thing. So, but yeah, that's the story. Just actually Richard mostly wanting to be able to track prices in Moto. Yeah, the original name, I don't think I ever launched with the name, but it was, I think MTG Liliana was like the code name or whatever, the name he had when he was designing it. Because Richard's it was right after Innistrad came out, Liliana the Veil, and he's a huge Liliana fan. Well, get in and hit you, down to 15. So we can... oh no, wait, this gives protection. That's an issue. So we have to play the Deeproot Wayfinder. Yeah, some other rune's going to be a problem? I want to say a problem. All right, pass the turn. Can we survive an Ornith? The turn 2, we're somehow alive against turn 2 Hammer. When did Krim and Tomer join? They all joined like somewhat recently. So I think, Commander Clash had been going on for quite a while. As far as being on the site full time, Tomer started, I want to say like 2 years ago. But Commander Clash has been going on for a while. So Tomar had always been doing like some articles, doing Commander Clash, but then he's done more and more. Crim came on, oh boy, time blurs together. I want to say like 2020, 2019. And then Phil has been around for about a year now. I think he started last August, I want to say. When are the sneak peeks for the next standard set? So it should be the beginning of August, I believe. Well, we will play a Sam. Legend rule. This is one of the kind of cool tricks with Sam. I mean, maybe we still get wrecked here by something. But we can play a Sam Legend rule. That'll put a Sam in the graveyard. So Sam can get back Sam. And then we can do that again next turn. And be tempted by the ring. Yeah, I guess we stick with Thalia. I mean, maybe we can just do this until our opponent dies. A Solitude would make this way easier. Because eventually we're gonna run out of chump blocking fuel. Block the Ornithopter. About it. Oh, when do we find out what sets we're going to next year? Oh. That I'm not sure. They've been announcing it at kind of random times. I thought you meant when do we get like sneak peek spoilers for when do we get the sneak peek spoilers for the fall set? As far as announcing what planes we're going to next year, that I'm not 100% sure about. Let's get in with Thalia Loot. See what we draw. Even mine, Senza. How can we do this and not die? So we sack Horizon Canopy. All right, let's discard the land. Sack Horizon Canopy, draw a card. Play a Sam to get back the Horizon Canopy. Be tempted by the ring. This lets Thalia hit for 5. Oh, is there some way we piece this together? So the ring's maxed out. Opponent takes 3. They drop to 8. Our plan of just repeatedly doing nothing is like sort of working. Just keep chumping. Just keep chumping. About it. Dabs. Is Tomer far away from you in Canada? Tomer's over in the EU now, but he was in like Toronto area, I think, which is like 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours for me. But he's mostly over in France now. I'm still mad that we never got to see Team Goldfish play the Super Leagues. I remember people being surprised at how insane you were at Magic when you were also not streaming. I miss the Super Leagues. The Super Leagues were so fun. They were one of my favorite events. That's suspicious. Those are one of my favorite events. Well, we're gonna block and block. I assume this means they drew another hammer. The hammering just never ends. All right, that's another hammer. Wow, we are actually awkwardly kind of close to winning. We can't quite win. We hit our opponent to 3. Okay. But our opponent has 2 hammer creatures. Well, sack the Horizon Canopy. If we win this, that would be impressive. Deeproot Wayfinder, that's actually kind of good. And a Giver of Runes. Well, Thalia, get in. What a weird, slow, grindy way to try to win this game. Oh my god, that's a Solitude. Oh my god, that's a Solitude. Okay. Wait a minute. Wait, can we actually win? Is that a thing that might happen? How do we do this now? Oh, that's an interesting draw. That's a really interesting draw. I mean, Shadow Spear is going to get us. Shadow Spear, if they have Shadow Spear, that's going to get us. If we let our opponent gain 10, though, we're never going to kill him. We're trying to win by chipping in with Thalia. We can't let our opponent gain 10, right? I'm tempted to discard the Solitude. Discard the Solitude. We can play the land. Play Wayfinder, Flashed Mind Sensor. It would be nice to get down the Giver of Runes. All right, let's do it this way. Discard Mind Sensor. I think this is fine. We'll discard the Mind Sensor. Hit our opponent down to 3. So 1 ring attack wins us the game, technically. The question is, here's a question, chat. Do we leave up Solitude? Or do we play 2 creatures? That's the question. I mean, we do win next turn if we can get in this Thalia attack. Unless we Solitude and our opponent gains infinite life, then we lose. Hold up, play 2. I think it's actually close. I feel like if we actually Solitude one of our opponent's creatures, we're never going to win. Because I don't know how we ever deal that amount of damage. The downside is, if our opponent goes like Stoneforge Shadowsphere, we just die. If we don't leave up Solitude. You can Solitude your own creature. Although, we would lose our Ring Bearer. I feel not discarding the land was a punt. I feel like we need the land for Solitude, right? Plus, it's a land that can draw a card. We can block and take 10. Yeah, I mean, the question is, can we play around Shadowsphere, basically? They've already played 3 hammers. I mean, I guess if they top deck Shadowsphere, then it's sad, but they get us. All right, play the Giver of Runes. Play the Deeproot Wayfinder. Pass the turn. All right. Hold. Hold for the least likely win. About it. What do they find? And remember, because this is our Ring Bearer, they can't block it. It skulks over. It can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. So the horrible, horrible ring is actually kind of doing work here. Pure Steel Paladin. Okay, that doesn't change anything, though. Equips to the Pure Steel Paladin. That still doesn't change anything. Opponent turn 2 hammered. Opponent turn 2 hammered. And it's starting to look like we just managed to chump block our way past it. We have just played really, really bad creatures, played a bunch of Zams and Deeproot Wayfinders, leveled up the ring, and I think that's apparently more powerful than a Colossus Hammer. I mean, I guess if they drew another hammer, they could unequip attack with the Ornithopter and then flash it in after blocks and get us, but yeah, opponent should have left up a blocker. I mean, they can move it over, so if they realized what the ring is doing. The problem they have, though, as well, is if this Giver of Runes is alive, if the Giver of Runes is alive, then so they go pro green, so we got to block with the Giver. About it. Actually, wait, do we just go to 1, right? It seems better to go to 1. We're dead to, well, I mean, I guess we're not dead to trample. If they have Shadow Spear and they gain 11, we're essentially dead. Do we just take it? I think we just take it. Hopefully this isn't a trap. Yeah, we did die to Blacksmith Skill. That might have been, maybe it was too greedy. I think if we had really thought about it, our opponent had a card sitting in their hand for a long time. What would they possibly have sitting in their hand for a long time that's not exactly Blacksmith Skill? All right, hang on. The thing we learned, okay, so we've tried 2 different builds of this deck. All right, non-bows, whatever. Even Mind Sensor doesn't do it in 2023. We learned that. All right, we got to have Cat Jesus. We got to have Cat Jesus. There's no choice. Okay. Well, now we're going to hard lock ourselves out of the game and regret this and drop after one match. But, but in the meantime, we might actually strip mine someone. Oh, Sam is really cool. Sam is really sweet. Yeah, I guess we should have just blocked. That was definitely the safest line. Although, if we did that, we wouldn't be able to win the next turn, right? All right, we'll keep this. We would like another land. Another land would be sweet. But, I mean, we got the Cat Jesus. We got the Ghost Quarter. We would like another land that is not... We only have 4 fetches. Only 4 fetches. Hopefully we don't draw those. You play fetches and Arbiter all the time. It's okay. Ugh, it makes me a little nervous. Just a smidge. Hey, what's up, AZ? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hexproof, what a fun mechanic. I mean, really, if that was Giant Growth, it would have done the same thing. So in that case, it wasn't so much the Hexproof, but the pump spell aspect that got us. All right, planes go. All right, opponent. Hopefully got a handful of fetches. Well, okay, hang on. Starting next turn, a handful of fetches. Opponent, Blood Grip, untapped, and... Oh, our Cat Jesus. All right, well, that's not great. We did have plans for that. We will play a Field of Ruin and run out a Stoneforge Mystic and grab a Cauldron Complete. All right, opponent, now you got to kill the Stoneforge, or else. Wasn't Solitude lethal? They gain 2, but if you deal 2 or 3 from Thalia, wasn't Solitude lethal? No, well, Solitude is gain life, equal to the creature's power, right? So our opponent would have gained like 10. Really? They just let us untap? That is unexpected. Well, in that case, we will, yeah, I mean, we will Stoneforge and put a Cauldron Complete into play. Okay, yeah, sure. Hit you for 5? Yeah. Okay, apparently our opponent didn't have a removal spell. Well, down to 12. Down to 12. Have you played Ghost? They would know 1 less. Red. Wow. Okay. Our opponent's trying to Jund, and it is not going especially well here. Wooded Foothills. Opponent. Passing. We draw Deeproot Wayfinder. Well, go to combat. Hit our opponent. So they have a turn to deal with this this Cauldron Complete. Pass the turn. Hold. Do you have an answer? Opponent out of 5. They must have a plan. Of some kind. Gets a tap land. I mean, it's indestructible, though, too. I guess I could play a 1-ring, which would be... Oh. Wait, is there a way we can... Oh, we can't stop it. Okay. Okay, well, How do we beat an Archon of Cruelty? That's the new question. Is that possible? Creativity. It's the Archon. Well, we need to Stoneforge. Put the sword into play. Sack the Stoneforge. Discard the Wayfinder. I mean, this does force our opponent to chump. Which is something? And we get the sword trigger. Well, 1, 2. Sword on the germ. Go to combat. Attack ya. Opponent's got a block. We get rid of the Archon. We hit you for 1. Sword hits you. Oh, we draw Giver of Runes. Well, okay, play the Giver. Pass the turn. Where's our lands? Where's our lands? About it. Persists the Archon of Cruelty. We sack the Giver of Runes. We discard Athalia. We drop to 14. Yeah, that's not great. Dwarven Mine. Mm-hmm. About it. Passing. The Archoning never ends, apparently. Deeproot Wayfinder. Well, go to combat. Attack ya. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Besiege you. Oh. Okay, so now we're dead, right? Oh, that's so brutal. That is so brutal. Yeah, we got to land off the Besiege. But now this Archon just goes off. Yeah. I mean, samming the sword's all we can really do, although... I don't think it's going to matter now. Deeproot Wayfinder, pass the turn. Because now they can start attacking with the Archon. So they're just going to keep doing that. Like, Archon, if you can keep it on the battlefield, really good. Opponent. So opponent kills the Sam with the Wren, of course. And terminates. And there goes the Cauldra. And we scoop it up. Well, Archon of Cruelty. It's a pretty good magic card. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. That one was rough because, boy, it felt like we were close to actually just closing out that game. Super close, but we got through the first Archon. We managed to overcome the first Archon. The second Archon, that was the one that got us. So now what? Reformer prevents Archon triggers. You have Hexproof. When it's dealt damage, you gain that much life. I wonder if that's worth it. So Gaddock Teague shuts down. So Gaddock Teague shuts down creativity. That shuts down creativity. Light and Shadow seems kind of questionable-ish. How do we make room for all these cards is the real question. Containment Priest shuts down all the shenanigans. Reformer would stop us from being targeted, which is something. Maybe we gotta trim the Wayfinders. Sanctifier and Vex good. We also need a way to actually, like, close out the game at some point. How do we actually kill them if we bring in all these cards? We bring in a bunch. Yeah, maybe we. Is Reformer good enough? Our stuff's gonna die too, which makes Extraction Specialist kind of good. Maybe we go down the Batterskull? Like Batterskull, Giver. Yeah, maybe it's just all the Wayfinders. Maybe we just can't Wayfind in this matchup. Try it like that. Remember Containment Priest Nanbos with Vial. That is a good point. Do Do we keep this? 1 land, double Solitude, Ether Vial. Yeah, I think we do. We're leaning pretty hard on the Vial, but hopefully, I mean, these are the kinds of hands you keep with a deck like this in hopes that the Vial is going to get you there. Yeah, Gaddock Teague is probably the card we want to draw most. Well, all right. Land, Windswept Heath, and Ether Vial go. Yeah, hopefully we have enough pieces that we don't need Orvar, but we'll see how it goes. Drawing a land here would be pretty fine. Would not mind. Land? Sam. Oh no. The problem about missing the land drop here is it tells our opponent, if I can kill this Vial, I pretty much win the game. Opponent. Yeah, Solitude is potentially a good answer to an Archon, should it get to that point. Should we actually resolve anything? Wait, Trait Doctoring's... Well, I guess that actually makes a lot of sense. Why were you playing Trait Doctoring? That's the big question. Trait Doctoring being bugged? That's not surprising to me. Someone finding out that it's bugged, that's the shocking part. That is the shocking part of Trait Doctoring. Land. Well, that is a land. Okay, so Field of Ruin and pass the turn. All right, opponent. All right, opponent. You gonna crack this? Oh, if we had Cat Jesus, our opponent would be so sad. Double fetch lands. Opponent. Well, now that we got 2 lands, we're in business. Our deck doesn't need that many lands. 15 Flooded Scans, 8 Scalding Tarns. Ooh. That's a lot of fetching. It's a lot of fetching. Fable? Fable of the Mia Breaker? It appears the answer is yes. Well, we will put a Stoneforge into play. Get a Cauldron complete. Flash a Sam into play. Just to be tempted by the ring. And untap. Vial going to stay on 2. All the Solitudes in the world. I kind of feel like we have to just put the Cauldron Compete into play. We have to, right? Yeah, I think we have to. This does leave us potentially open to getting smacked by... an Archon, or having our opponent put Archon into play, but then we deal with it next turn, hopefully. I'll hit you to 11. Pass the turn. Marching up to 5. Maybe next... Wow. Opponent discards 2 Archons of Cruelty. Goes to combat. We might be able to march up next turn. The upside of being at 2 is we get to do some little Sam shenanigans. With the Ether Vial and 2 Sams, we can block, Vial and a Sam, get back to the Sam, do it again. We kind of have like an infinite blocker. I don't know if it's that good, but... Yeah, we can still pitch a Solitude if we want to, and have one left over for the Ephemerate trick next turn. If our opponent tries to Creativity of the Goblin, we will. I'm more worried about Persist at the moment, actually. Well, Blackwood Sam, kill the Gobbo. And... Oh, I think it's sponsor you're looking for. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can go over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. About it. So has anyone built any cool decks lately? What have y'all been playing? What have y'all been playing? Anything fun? I had an idea. My idea had merit, but was poorly executed. Yeah, you were on the right track. The ring is so powerful. At this point, the ring is still kind of intoxicating. I'm still Gollum. Wait, no, is that right? Gollum. I haven't went Smeagol yet. Whatever the good version is. I'm still enjoying it. I am afraid that I'm gonna start not enjoying it at some point, but that hasn't happened yet. At this point, I am still very much enjoying it. It draws so many cards. It's just, that card is so ridiculous. So, 5-color standard battles. Ooh, how is standard? Ever since Lord of the Rings dropped, I have played all modern and historic, and a little Pioneer, and Commander, of course, but how is standard at the moment? All right, opponent, all the removals. Well, Sam gets back Sam. We untap. Vial. Do we start ticking? Are we really trying to tick up to 5? Is that an actual plan? All right, I guess. Oh, instant regret. There's Gaddock. Well, get in. Another Vial. Well, discard the Vial. Hit ya. Down to 6. Pass the turn. About it. I guess what we're hoping is our opponent gets a Dwarven Mine, flips the Reflection, and tries to double creativity off the 2 creatures, and we get him with Solitude. That would be the best outcome from this. Yeah, who said take up the Vial to 5? Who am I blaming for that? Opponent, Dwarven Mine. Oh god. Oh god. All right, that's a lot of fodder. That's a lot of fodder. I mean, that was just unfortunate timing that we drew it. Just watched the Biovisionary episode with Card Market Great Stuff. I haven't watched that one yet. I honestly didn't even know the outcome. Ooh, all right. So opponent gets an Archon. Well, we will Solitude, pitch a Solitude. To get rid of the Archon. Yeah, maybe we gotta let it die and Sam it back. That might actually... That's probably the best bet. So get rid of it. It gets sacrificed. Oh, we're actually kind of getting super wrecked by taking up this Vial. Like, if they bolt this Sam and we get a sack our Calder complete, we are in the saddest shape. So get back the Solitude. So I think we just lost because we ticked up the Vial. I think that's the TLDR. Had we just left the Violet 2? So I guess that's a good lesson, is that we only have Solitude as a 5-drop. Probably not worth it in general to try to take up. Maybe if you have 2 Vials, it's worth it. But I think probably better just to leave it at 2 so you can oh, and then we draw the land. Probably better just to leave it at 2 so you can keep putting things into play and doing shenanigans rather than going for the gold of trying to put Solitude into play. About it. Bitter reunion. I mean, it's just so far in the future. Like, if we could have got up to 5 like last turn, then maybe it's worth it. But getting up to 5, so we get up to 5 next turn if we're still alive. We can put these 2 Solitudes into play over the course of 2 turns. We'll see. Maybe it'll still work out. But then after we put those 2 Solitudes into play, Our Vial's mostly dead. Like that's all it does. About it. It definitely would have been helpful. Like last turn, if we could have Viled Sam into play, we could have also left Ephemerate up. Or we could have Viled Gaddock into play and maybe just stop that. Like, Vile Gaddock into play, have Ephemerate to protect Gaddock if they try to bolt it. So I might just be a little bit of hindsight bias, but it definitely didn't work out great there. Sharks keep moving. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big Soup, are you gonna blow up our Vile? Big Soup, sure for you. Thank you. I mean, our opponent knows what's up. They know that we're ticking up towards 5, so I think they have Beseiju in hand and they're considering, should I just blow it up? But the problem is if they do, we get a land, and then if we draw land, we just hardcast Solitudes anyway. Hey Seth, what is the best way to submit a deck for Commander Clash? I've got this neat threefold single deck. Oh my goodness. Yeah. All right. So, about that let's tick up Vile plan. About that let's tick up Vile plan. Oh no. Oh boy. Wow. All right, Stoneforge Mystic. Stoneforge Mystic. We'll grab a Sword of Fire and Ice. Pass the turn. Doubling Season just got spoiled. Did it? That's one of the cards we really needed to see reprinted. So I'm glad that's finally coming back. I mean, I think we have to do these Solitude shenanigans now. Like, this leaves us super open to just straight up dying to a future Archon, but I don't think we can afford to play around it now. I think we got a Solitude, evoke Solitude, Ephemerate, the Solitude. And if we draw land, maybe we can get in a sword hit. All right, well, Solitude. About it. Has another lightning bolt. All right, sure. Well, let's see who draws something relevant first. About it. Yeah, all those token doublers have gotten absurdly expensive, like over the top expensive. Is there any chance we strip mine our opponent? That seems pretty unlikely. All right, well, pass the turn. Ooh. Wait, is opponent passing? Are we actually going to get in a sword hit? I didn't think that was actually a possibility. Well, Stoneforge. Put the sword into play. I mean, if our opponent has all lands, if they don't have another removal spell. Go, sword of fire, nice. No. Oh my god. All right, opponent. Did have a Beseiju. Well, we thought that was a possibility. Well, now we'll play a Gaddock. This does shut down some shenanigans. Pass the turn. Is Ashnod's Altar actually $20? I didn't realize it went up that much again. About it. Yeah, it's good to see some value with the lower rarity slots. That's something that I feel like has kind of been missing in this set. Like, if you look, so obviously some really good mythics, some really good rares, uncommons. Thran Dynamo, I guess, is Arcane Signet. That's not $3. No. Some of these prices are like pretty inflated pre-order prices. Cause like Arcane Signet, there's versions of that are 80 cents. So there's no way that Commander Masters is $3. So I think that's just the inflated pre-sale price. Thran Dynamo's not bad. Soul Ring's always worth a couple bucks. Yeah, nice to get some more lower rarity value. Doubling Season's definitely a big one. That's a big one just existing. Fable's pretty good. Eventually our opponent's going to find... Eventually they're going to find a way to get Archon back. Also, just a 2/2 is pretty good against us here. Can we beat a 2/2 Goblin that makes treasures? Seeming less likely. All right, Windswept Teeth. Well, that puts us 1 mana away from actually Gaddock Teaguing. Well, we will pass the turn, or actually Cauldron completing. Pass the turn. Opponent. opponent. Yeah, Stormkiln's another good one. That card's pretty strong. Yeah, we already need a Nazgul's reprint. We need to start reprinting the Lord of the Rings cards already. Nazgul's, Bowmasters, One Ring. All right, opponent goes to combat, gets in, hits us, makes a treasure. Sure, we drop to 5. And opponent passes. Do we even win by attacking with Cauldron Complete? Not really, right? This is a tough position. Like, what possibilities are there for winning? So if we attack for 7, our opponent attacks us back. I guess we just gotta pass. That is a good Gaddock, but we can't attack with it, or we're just gonna lose on the backswing. Opponent gets another Dwarven Mind. Yeah, all these fetches being 1/1s is also not good for us. And our opponent can give stuff haste. Oh wait, do we lose right now? That Bitter Reunion can give stuff haste. Are they just... Oh. Fair enough. Fair enough. How do you feel about the profile treatment for Commander Masters? I actually really like it. I know that some people don't, but I think it's actually, I like both of the styles. I think the profile is my favorite of the Commander Master styles. It's very different, but I like the cleanliness of the back. I like the pure one color background, a close up of the character's face. I think it's really cool. Like, I would play this Neheb is my commander, or I would play I think the Azusa is one of the best. The Kiker is also one that, where's the Kiker? The Kiker is, it is kind of just a bird on an orange background, but it does look like a pretty nice bird, I would say. The frame break one, I don't know. What do you think of the frame break? That's the one to me I'm kind of like, I don't know. Like, it's cool. It's cool, but is the frame break enough to set it apart from Borderless? I've noticed as I've been doing like spoiler videos, I don't always immediately notice the difference between Borderless and frame break. Frame break is like Borderless with a little extra gimmick thrown in, but it's mostly, it looks very much like Borderless. Hey, what's up, Jerk Boy? How are you? Oh, so here I've been thinking about Secret Layers. We talked about this not that long ago. The complaints about the Lord of the Rings Secret Lair drop, and obviously, you know, the value of it just being horrible because of the cards included. I had a thought about Secret Lair drops, and I want to run it by you to see if you thought this was a reasonable thought. Should we be thinking of Secret Lairs as essentially altars? Are Secret Lairs actually just official altars? If you think about it, it kind of seems like altering became popular. People started paying a big chunk of money to artists to have characters from other IPs and so forth drawn on their cards. And Wizards decided, I should get in on this money. Like, why are we letting these altarists get the money? We could be getting this money if we produce these cards. So in some sense, is it, and maybe this is off base, is it wrong to judge Secret Lairs based on the value of their cards at all? Because an altar isn't about that, right? Like, I've seen people spend a lot of money to get an altar of a random common card that's basically worthless, just because they love the card, or they love the joke of the card, or it's a good fit for the IP they want to put, you know, Bender from Futurama on a card or whatever, and the card fits with that. So I almost wonder if maybe we're thinking about it wrong, and it doesn't really matter what the value is, and the idea isn't for them to be good cards that many people will buy, but instead they're supposed to be like there's 10 people in the world that really want the art from Lord of the Rings, and those 10 people, they don't care if it's a Shire Terrace or a Slip on the Ring or a Gandalf. Like, it's not about that. They just really want this art because it's like an altar to them. And to everyone else, like, we should just not buy it because it obviously, really, as much as this saying is horrible, but like, it really isn't for us. Like, it's not supposed to be for us. It's supposed to be for the the dozens of people in existence who really connect to 1978 Lord of the Rings animated film, and they want to stick it on the shelf somewhere, and they think that's really cool. What is our opponent doing? This has to be Sleight of Hand Storm Vision. This has to be like One Ring Twiddle Storm. That's the only thing that makes sense. Is they're trying to just dig for the One Ring and then tap it, untap it a bunch of times and win? That might be pretty good against our deck. Especially since we are doing not a whole lot at the moment. I'll put a Giver of Runes into play, untap, take up the Vial. You know, drawing a land is actually pretty good. So we get to play a Thalia. Hopefully slow things down a smidge. Get in, hit ya. Cat Jesus not looking great. I don't know if our opponent's going to be playing many fetch lands in their mono blue every cantrip in existence. And I watched the animated series before the originals with my parents as a small kid, so I'm one of those 12 people. But does it, that's a good question. Like, so God, does it matter to you what the cards are? Like, when you see that, are you just like, I want to buy it because I have a nostalgic connection to this art? Does it matter to you if it's a bunch of 10-cent commons that you can't really do a whole lot with in a game of Magic compared to being like a One Ring or some valuable card? Like, maybe it's just like a very Magic player way of looking at it, and it's not supposed to be for Magic players. It's supposed to be for people who have that nostalgic collection or whatever. I don't know. It just made me think maybe looking at it like a normal product is in some way kind of wrong, if that makes sense. Okay. Lotus Fields ag some lands. Well, this is not looking great. Not looking great, I would say. Let's put a Deeproot Wayfinder into play. Go to combat, untap. Vial, always staying on 2. We've learned our lesson. Never going above 2. Actually, sometime we might go to 3, but yeah, we're just casually asking God what he thinks about secret layer drops. the final word on the matter. God is spoken. Get in, hit ya. Do some surveilling. Can we hit a land? No. I guess we mill the Sam. Well, okay. Pass the turn. I mean, maybe they can't combo off through the Thalia. I think that's our best hope, is maybe Thalia is enough disruption that they can't go off. And if they try to deal with Thalia, we can ephemerate it. Opponent. Wow. Okay. Opponents cast so many cards and they have done so little. Ether Vial. Let's put Cat Jesus into play. What does Cat Jesus think about the Lord of the Rings Secret Lair drop? We have God's opinion, but untap. Vial. Always 2. Always 2. Always and forever. Matter Skull. Well, go to combat. Hit you for... Wow, do we have to attack with everything? I think we do. Somewhat greedy, but this is a 2-turn clock. Go to combat. Hit ya. Surveil. Can we please hit a land? Deeproot Wayfinder. So far, you were living up to my... Oh, my God. Living up to my take that you were one of the worst rares from your set. I feel like this deck should be able to do really cool prison-y things, and we just have not had the draws or matchups yet. On a rampage in Dries. Welcome to the fishbowl. No. Vial is not going up to 5. Oh, no. Don't even tempt me. Don't even tempt me. I would like to sack the Canopy. The problem is, I feel like the way we lose is if they can answer Thalia. So I think we need to leave up 2 mana for Ephemerate to blink the Thalia. It seems like it should be hard for our opponent to combo off, hopefully, if we keep the Thalia on the battlefield. So if it was more of a normal situation, then I think we would definitely be sacking and getting back the Rising Canopy, but right now we just need both lands to protect the Thalia. I feel like Deep Root could be good in this deck. I think it might be good in the deck. We just haven't really seen the games where it's good yet. Give it a minute. Well, I think we'll get to those games. Hopefully. Tempted by the file. Yeah, we paid the price the first time. Going up to 5. About it. Wait, did they actually announce a doubling season reprint? I haven't seen that one yet. Opponent. Untaps. Oh. Alright, there's Echoing Truth on the Thalia, so Ephemerate. Alright, opponent. Can you combo through a Thalia? Up to you. Do your best. I was watching your Karendos video, and you hear CC meowing in the background just as you scoop up the last game match 2. It's a very good meow. I just thought you and chat should know. CC has a very impressive meow. I will give her credit for that. And she's been she's normally a pretty loud cat, but recently she has been doubly loud. I don't know why. About it. Wow. Okay, ideas unbound. Splicing a psychic puppetry. Untapped straws. I mean, our opponents, I think they've decided they have to go for it. Why not let it be bounced and then just file it back in? Could have also done that. I guess that probably would have been better with nothing else to vial in. Opponent discards some cards. We untap. Well, okay. Vial staying on 2. Ephemerate staying in exile. Giver of Runes. Well, go to combat. Attack with everything. Here they come. What answers do you have, opponent? Wow, scoops it up. We got there. Hey, what's up, dear Michelle? How are you? Good to see you. She's mad at you for not posting more pet. Do I need to post more pet pictures? I never know what the right number of pet pictures is. This is the Archon of Emiria matchup. Too bad we sideboarded out all those Archons. Archons would be great in this matchup. More animal pictures? Is that the final word? We should have more. All right. Well, since we don't really have many Archons, I guess Gaddock Teague's as good as it gets. I don't know if it's good enough, but my puppy's really loud, and she's destroying everything in sight. What kind of puppy do you have, Corneas? Puppies when they're little can be wild. Bear still, he knows. He's 2 years old now. He turned 2 on 4th of July, so he's just over 2 years old. He knows he's not supposed to chew the furniture. He knows it. I swear he does it when he's like mad at me. Not mad, but like when he wants attention. Like if I'm not paying enough attention to him, I think he knows, if I go chew on the couch or I'll go chew on the bed or something, that'll get me some attention. So I still haven't been able to completely break him of that habit. I don't think we can keep this. A lot of lands, not a lot to do with them. Oh, all right. Well, okay, combos off. I'm not sure what this deck is trying to do, but would World Shaper do anything here? I think World Shaper is probably just a bit slow. Like, what it does would fit the theme of what the deck's trying to do. Milling, getting lands back from the graveyard. 4 mana is just a bit much for the most part for Modern, I think. Well, Ether Vial. Well, again, we have Thalia. Thalia, save us, please. Yeah, now I'm kind of regretting taking out all those Archons. Those Archons would have been really good in this matchup. They would have been, like, our best card. But still, we're a Taxes deck. We better be able to beat... another Vial. Well, alright. We're going to go full-on Vial mode. We're a Taxes deck. Hopefully we can find a way to beat a Storm deck. If our Taxes deck is not beating Storm, then what are we even doing? What is even the point? Oh, did you see the Legacy deck? Oh, there's this Legacy deck I want to play so bad. It looks so unique. The problem is it's called Mississippi River, which I guess it's because once it starts going, it just like keeps flowing, if that makes any sense. But it's the craziest, cascadiest deck. The problem is the key card does not exist on Magic Online, so we can't play it. I gotta show you the deck though. I posted it on Twitter. It's just such a unique list full of cards that you would never see outside of Commander. And apparently it works, because the list is from someone that went 5-1 in a top 8 at a recent Legacy tournament. So apparently it's not just like some ridiculous meme deck. How do we do this? So let's play Stoneforge. Little worried about a counter. We can't let the Thalia get countered. All right, Stoneforge resolves. We will take a Cauldra Complete. Pass the turn. On our opponent's upkeep, we're going to Violin Thalia. And hopefully keep our opponent in check for a minute. Otherworldly Gaze. Well, they're tapped out. I guess we'll just Violet in now. Oh, yeah, I really wanted to play this deck. So this is the Mississippi River deck. So as far as I could tell, nothing costs less than 5 mana. The key card is Creative Technique, a Commander 2021 precon card. 5 mana is Demonstrate, so you can copy it if you let your opponent copy it. It says shuffle your library, reveal cards until you hit a non-land, exile that card, the rest go on the bottom. You can cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. So the idea of this deck, this is almost like Legacy Zombie Hunt to some extent. So you want to mulligan really aggressively to find Creative Technique, because that's the one card that matters. If you look at the curve, nothing in the deck costs less than 6 mana. So you have a bunch of lands that make 2 mana. All these lands, these random commons and uncommons, you can sack to make 2 mana. So you got a bunch of lands that make 2 mana. So ideally, you will be playing your Creative Technique on like turn 3. When you play Creative Technique, what can you hit? So the end goal is going to be to hit maybe an Emrakul, but everything else is just cascade into cascade. You have Apex Devastator, cascades 4 times, Maelstrom Wanderer, cascades twice, Sweet Gum Recluse, cascades and puts counters on things, Sagasima's Prodigy, cascades and also copies the permanent, Boarding Party, cascades, Aurora Phoenix, also cascades. So essentially you just keep cascading until you hit another Creative Technique, and then you hit a bunch of cascade spells, and they'll cascade into a Creative Technique. The end result will be you will play every Creative Technique, eventually play an entire board full of these hasty Maelstrom Wanderer creatures that you're eventually going to hit, and maybe an Emrakul to close out the game right away. Will it ever get added to Moto? That is the question. Demonstrate is not a high priority mechanic, I don't think. It's weird, no one really plays it, so I worry that it might be a while till we actually get it. Will you play the deck on stream? Oh, I wish I could. I would have already played it for a streamer video. Like, the problem is that there's not a replacement for Creative Technique. Like, there's not that's the card that's missing is Creative Technique, and that is the card that the decks build around. And there's not another card in Magic that does what Creative Technique does. Like, there isn't another option. So that's kind of the problem. Yeah, can you do it on Cockatrice? That might be... Would people watch Cockatrice content? I wonder. I mean, I guess people watch Moto content, and Cockatrice is not that much... that much worse. I mean, it's worse, but the problem is one of the problems is it's not official. The other problem is there's not a rules engine, so you never know if your opponents... I think Cockatrice is at its best with a friend or with a play group. I think it's actually like a reasonably good option for testing if you like have a friend. Oh, go attacking, hit ya. And I think we just pass. Vials all on 2, where we want him to be. Cat Jesus at the ready if our opponent goes tutoring. But yeah, I guess you could try to edit it really well. How does the deck win? Honestly, isn't a force enough, well enough to beat it. Ooh. Okay. That's a 1 ring. That's going to be an issue. So. We will... sack Horizon Canopy, draw a card. Vial a Sam into play to get back the Horizon Canopy. Sure, you can be a ring bearer. Vial an Arbiter into play. Oh, but now there's a 1 ring. Alright, so opponent has protection from everything. Draws a card. The busted card has arrived. We untap. Oh. We have one Archon in our deck. Maybe we do have to take a Vial up to 3 at some point. Sword of Light and Shadow. Well, we will pass the turn. I mean, we're fully leaning on this Thalia. I don't know if it'll be enough with the 1 ring out, though. Wouldn't the 1 ring being banned for power level be flavorful? It kind of would be a flavor win, wouldn't it? It might actually happen because, wow, is it over the top. Like, it is really over the top power. The last couple of days has really convinced me that it is not just a really good card, but like a busted card. As good as it's been in 60 card formats. And maybe Commander is self-correcting enough because... yeah, I think this should be over. Maybe Commander is self-correcting enough. Boy, I wish we had those Archons. Cutting those Archons, looking like it might end up being. Who would have thought that you'd play? Who would have thought that you'd end up playing against a deck like this? What are the chances? What are the chances that you end up playing against a mono blue Tweedlestorm deck? So opponent gonna have to discard some cards. Well, we'll put an Arbiter into play. How close are we to having lethal? Are we anywhere near having lethal? Stoneforge. Put a Cauldra into play. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Well, we are anywhere close. Not exactly there, but we could hit our opponent to like 1. Opponent has to discard a bunch of cards. Yeah, that's my concern with Commander is like I feel like it is an auto include. And I don't think auto includes are good for the format in general. Like even Soul Ring, I don't think Soul Ring's good for the format. We're gonna go up to 3. We're gonna leave 1 on 3 just in case we draw the Archon. The Archon would be so spectacular here. I think it's worth it. And if we get desperate, we can even crack the Horizon Canopy to see if we can draw into it. Archon would be probably game ending, but we only have 1 copy. All right, come on, random white creatures. Come on, Sam. All the Cat Jesuses. Opponent is definitely not tutoring, that's for sure. I'll go to combat, hit you 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, hit you for 13. Well, it all comes down to this. About it. Should have got him with the Stoneforge. Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Opponent down to 3. Pass the turn. Yeah, it might have been worth it to try to... Yeah, definitely would have been worth it to attack with the Stoneforge, I guess. Dress down. Huh. Well, I believe that does it. So we can sack Horizon Canopy. Alright, sure. GG. Coral, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you. Alright, opponent. Well, good game. These Commander spoilers are just making me sad about the price. Commander Draft is really fun too. Yeah, the idea of these master sets is a little paradoxical. I'm not sure why they make them so draft focused. Yeah, this is definitely over. I'm not sure why they make them so draft focused. That's the part that gets me about them. Why do you make a So like it just doesn't work, right? Like if you're going to take in Yeah, I think we should have attacked with the Stoneforge. That would have been a better play to try to force them to have an answer. So I think that would just be a mistake. We should have gotten in with the Stoneforge. I wanted to put the equipment into play. I'm not used to the One Ring actually mattering. I can count. I played against the One Ring probably, I don't even know, 100 games maybe so far in different formats. I don't think I've ever, I think once I've seen the damage actually be meaningful. So I'm just used to thinking of it as you win the game if you have it, more or less. But I guess that's something to think about. I guess there are occasions where the damage is actually relevant. How does opponent's deck win? My guess would be Thassa's Oracle. That seems like the easiest win. Although I guess Thassa's Oracle doesn't work with Dress Down, so Jace? Maybe Jace, since it doesn't care about Dress Down. Yeah, I think Dress Down probably means it doesn't work. Oh boy. I mean, I guess the Archon wouldn't have mattered, right? If our opponent's playing Dress Down as their answer to shenanigans. Yeah, that's the issue, right? So you make this really expensive set, but then you fill that really expensive set with a bunch of bulk rares to make a good limited format. But filling the set with bulk rares for the limited format makes people not want to buy boxes, because you don't want to buy a $400 box and get or whatever it is, $300 box, whatever the exact number is, and get a bunch of bulk rares. But because the format's so expensive, you do all this work to design a limited format, but most people don't really play much limited, because also most people don't want to pay those prices to do a draft. Like maybe you draft it once or twice if you're like feeling rich and get, a good deal at your LGS or something. But that's the part that kind of confuses me with these sets. It feels like they're trying to do too much, if that makes sense. Like, make a really cool draft reprint set, or make a really good reprint set to get prices down for Commander. I don't know if you can take and do both. Like, I don't know if you make this great draft set that's also going to give all the reprints and also, like, sell for the prices Wizards want. So I feel like maybe it's a little unfocused, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not trying to complain. I'm glad they're printing this set. Even with the prices being way higher than I'd like for the boxes, it's a positive. We saw that in the past. We saw that with Double Masters. Double Masters, every time we've had a recent Master set, there's a big complaint about the prices. It's too much, and I agree it's too much. Like, yes, the absolute cost is just too much. Someone had a really good point. Someone posted on Twitter, really it's not too much. If you think through, Wizards' perspective and the numbers, like in the value in the box, it justifies it. And I have made that exact argument in the past, and I think that is a reasonable perspective. But then there was someone else that said, none of that matters to me. I don't have $300, so I can't buy it, so I'm disappointed. And that really made a ton of sense. Yes, there's all these really good arguments about, like, if you look at the economics, and all right, so they're winning with Grape Shot apparently. If you look at the economics, and you add up the EV and you think through the value of everything, like really, like they're pricing it for the right amount, because if you priced it lower, then there wouldn't be this and that. Like, all of that is true. That's not true. But when it comes down to it, like, people have a limited budget, and when there's this really cool set full of cool art and it's priced in a way that you just personally cannot afford, it makes sense you'd be disappointed by it. That is a very legitimate way to feel. How can we possibly beat this deck? So we can try to bring in Skyclave, I guess. I mean, I think the same thing, yes. So couldn't you just buy singles? I think that is a... if they win, they're going to draw their entire deck, right? Their entire deck will be drawn. None of those do anything. Well, I guess the sword is better than the other options. But even just for, like, draft or whatever, like, I can't afford the draft limited event. There was that draft limited event in Vegas, and there was a big conversation. Is it too expensive? It costs, I can't remember, $265 altogether or something. If you add it all together, like, is that too much? No, it's not too much because of the prizes. You know, it makes sense. But then other people are just like, I don't have $260, so for me it's too expensive, because I would like to play in this event, but I literally just can't afford that in my budget. So I think sometimes we get too caught up in the high level stuff, in the the high level stuff, in the EV stuff, and in all that aspect, and forget that there's just, like, real people with real budgets that, and when there's something cool that you like and you want to do it and you can't, it feels bad. So all right, well, this hand is interesting. We have, I would say, two of our literal best cards in this matchup. The problem is we now know that our opponent's trying to dress down. And I don't know if anything we do actually stops the dress down plan. Opponent did do a lot of mulliganing, though. Opponent. Serum Visions in 2020. At least they're playing the original art. No Seaman Visions today. For the tournament, though, isn't the only appeal the payout? Like, is there a big difference for drafting in the main set versus a side event? The funny thing with the tournament is there was a big complaint from more casual players that it was too expensive, but then you also saw the opposite complaint from some pro players that it wasn't expensive enough. That for them, it would actually been better if it was a much higher entry fee and an even bigger prize pool. Like, you should be charging people $1,000 to enter, and the prize pool should be $1 million, rather than charging people, $250 and the prize pool being $100,000 or whatever. Like, so it's kind of funny that really, in some ways, the complaints come from both sides, from very different perspectives, and I don't even think either of those are wrong, if that makes any sense. Like, depending on how you interact with the game, the answer is going to be different for you. Kira Ashmore, I'm slowly building a collection of Archon of Amirias. Definitely my favorite card of mine, and I'm glad to see it getting used here too. I am glad to see it getting used here because the Storm deck is going to wreck us if we don't have Archon. Although, oh boy, I am still a little concerned about that dress down. If our opponent can find dress down and then combo, we're going to be sad. Well, get in and hit you. Opponent down to 18. We saw last game, they can dress down on our end step to make our creatures lose all their abilities, and then go to combo off. Opponent, Teleria West. Gonna get their Lotus Field for next turn. Ghost Quarter. Well, Ether Vial. And Ghost Quarter and hit you. Oh, come on, action. So many lands. We have two of our best hate cards, but so many lands. About it, down to 14. Our clock is not quick. About it. Serum Visions, about to set up the Lotus Field. I mean, they got a Lotus Field and do their things, and also find the dress down. Sack a land. About it, passing. Cat Jesus to blow up a land could work. Take it up. Cat Jesus, maybe. Okay, that is Cat Jesus. That's actually a big draw. That's actually a really big draw. We can get rid of this island maybe. Go to combat. Hit ya. Opponent down to 10. Well, we will play Cat Jesus. And, I mean, we got to go for it. Ghost Quarter you. Oh, got him. Okay. Play the land. Pass the turn. Opponent only has a Lotus Field. We need 2 turns of attacking. Can only cast 1 spell. Can't cast things 4 mana value or higher. Can't search their library. Opponent. Gonna pass. Oh, we might be getting there. We might be getting there. Are we gonna get there? Oh, Atwara plays it tapped. Okay. How about another Ghost Quarter? How about just one more Ghost Quarter? I guess we don't even need the Ghost Quarter. We can Field of Ruin it. All right, go to combat. Hit ya. Opponent takes it down to 4. Well, we will Field of Ruin. You're a Twara. Wow, opponent just lets it go. Ether Vial. Put a Sam into play. Get back the Field of Ruin. Ring Bear will be the Sam. Play the... All right, opponent. Oh, kill us if you can. Kill us if you can. Opponent. They could have paid, but they needed to get down the dress down. There's no way, right? There's no way. There's no way they go infinite from here. There's no way. If they go infinite from here, I'm going to cry. If they go infinite from here, I'm going to build our opponent's deck and play it, because that would be ridiculous. If they can go off with just... All right. I mean, there's untap number 1. Peer Through Depths. They have the Psychic Puppetry that they can splice onto Arcane. Untaps. Psychic Puppetry. Splice it on Ideas Unbound. Untaps. No. No way. No way we lose from here. If we lose to this, we're gonna have to build the deck and play it, because that would be a really impressive combo. Otherworldly. Ooh, okay, that's probably not great for our opponent if they're spending a mana just to Otherworldly Gaze. If they win with Unspeakable, then I'm definitely building this deck. If that's what this is leading up to. The best days of my Magic career was when I decided I would proxy every card. All of a sudden, prices meant nothing to me. So, proxying is definitely a great option for playing Commander. All right, opponent, Merchant Scroll. For a Peer Through Depths. And untaps. Wow, this is kind of ridiculous. I don't know if our opponent's getting really lucky, or if their deck actually is just like, if you untap with a single Lotus Field, you win. Maybe. Dresstown's brutal. Dresstown's really brutal. Like, we have every single creature you could want to stop what our opponent's doing. And Dresstown just, for 2 mana and not even costing you a card, puts an end to all of it. All of it. How are they? Oh, okay. So I guess I should explain this. So they're using the Arcane Splice onto Arcane mechanic. So what they've been doing is they've been casting arcane spells that draw cards like Ideas Unbound and Peer Through the Depths. And the arcane mechanic, it's so weird, but there's a handful of cards that say Splice onto Arcane, which essentially means when you cast an arcane spell, you can pay the splice cost and add the effect of the splice card to the arcane spell. So, for example, our opponent casts Ideas Unbound, draw 3 cards, discard 3 at the beginning of your end step. They pay 1 extra mana. They get to add tap or untap a permanent onto that card. So they've been casting all these arcane spells splicing Psychic Puppetry to repeatedly tap and untap their Lotus Field. Boy, how are they not? Wow, they hit another one, okay. They got to be running out, right? Pier. Wait a minute. Pier. Ideas Unbound. Reach through miss. They can't have too many left, but they are up to 7 cards in hand. Like, I think we probably lose now at this point. I think we probably end up losing. Another Otherworldly Gaze. Wow. What I mean, Dress Down. One of the sleepers from Modern Horizons 2, still showing its power. I mean, Twiddlestorm wants to win by tapping and tapping Lotus. The disappointing part is we have the creatures that are designed to stop it, but they found a Dress Down. I don't even know how many Dress Downs are playing, but wow, what a sideboard tech for our opponent to shut down an entire board full of creatures that will not allow them to combo. A single card, opponent. Another untap effect, Psychic Puppetry. And opponent. Another Psychic Puppetry. Opponent. Makes black mana this time. Yeah, Dress Down is just creatures lose. It only stays on the battlefield for a turn, but it has flash for some reason, and it says creatures lose all abilities, and you get to draw a card, so it doesn't even cost you a card. I don't know why this card is not played way more than it is. Like 2 mana cantrip with upside and with flash. All right, so opponent does all this stuff, then decides to play a One Ring, and passes, discards their hand. So opponent did all of this and then didn't win? Okay. Sure. Yes. We draw even more lands. All right, well, we will play the land and pass the turn. All right, opponent. Well, now you have to combo off through actual hate cards, which should be more difficult. I can't believe our opponent made it as far as they did. Remember, too, our opponent mulled to like 5 or something? Maybe it was 4. Like, our opponent mulled a lot at the start of this game. Opponent, One Ring, draws. It's got to start with another Dress Down, right? Like, without a Dress Down, they're not gonna get out of this. No! Opponent finds another Dress Down. And scoops. Jeez. What an experience. Opponent scoops it up. Well, it's been a minute since I've seen Twiddlestorm. I will say that Dress Down tech was very, very, very good. I have seen Dress Down played to like combo with Death Shadow to make it a 13/13. I've seen it played to wreck Urza's Saga tokens. I have not really seen it played out of a combo deck to shut down Gaddock Teagues and Thalias and so forth. Actually, I don't know if our opponent built the deck or found it somewhere, but that's a really cool piece of tech that I'm going to keep in mind. Next time we're playing a combo deck, I got to keep that in mind because that's actually sneaky tech. The other thing I will say about our opponent's deck is the One Ring seems kind of ridiculous in Twiddlestorm. We got to see in game 2, like, the full combo where they just went off, and the One Ring draws so many cards it makes it so hard to fizzle. So many people so far have been playing the One Ring fairly. I think the One Ring also has a lot of unfair potential that maybe hasn't been fully tapped yet, and our opponent's trying to tap into that. Well, we got the win. I just want to... Can we just strip mine someone out of the game once? Can we just get them? That's all I want. That's all I want, and I'll be happy. I just want one game where we just, like, you know, blow up all of our opponent's lands. They don't get to play any mana. They don't get to cast any spells. Just once. Is that really too much to ask? It probably just needs Bowmaster. Our deck could probably use Bowmaster. I still want Turtle Storm deck you did a bunch a long time ago. Yeah, it used to be really cheap. It is not cheap now with the One Ring, but it is a really cool archetype. It's a unique take on Storm for sure. That's it. Is that really unreasonable? All we want's a flawless victory. That's it. That just one flawless victory, and we'll be satisfied. What do we put to the bottom? Thalia? We probably regret putting... You know what? Let's put Giver. Well, maybe we want Giver. We need Stoneforge. It's probably... You know what? Let's put Deeproot Wayfinder to the bottom. Our spicy card. It's how it goes with spicy cards sometimes. Taplag, go! There's been a lot of that in Legacy Key Paradox Engine. Ooh. Yeah, Voltaic Key with One Ring seems kind of busted. What's the four-mana artifact that's tap 2 artifacts on tap an artifact? Clock of Omens. I wonder if there's a Clock of Omens. A Clock of Omens combo deck with One Ring. I might have to try to build that. That seems like that could actually work. All right, land off the top. Cat Jesus. Okay. We've got a lot of one-landers with this deck. I will admit, there's been many one-landers. Opponent. Oh no, they're playing a turns deck. Okay, well, Ether Vial. Mikukuru. Man, this is another blast through the past. One thing I'll say about the One Ring is it is cool that it's brought back Turbo Fog and in Twiddle Storm and Mono Blue turns, a bunch of really miserable decks that I don't know if I actually want them to come back, but it is cool that they have made their return. Well, let's play Field of Ruin. Let's go to combat. And opponent going to kill the Giver of Runes. All right. Well, in that case, if you're going to kill the Giver of Runes, we're going to... Do we even care about Giver? Not that much. Let's just play Thalia. Pass the turn. We can either put Stoneforge into play or... Oh, please play a fetch. Please, just play a fetch. It'll be fine. I guess I could pay, but still. Still. About it. Another Fatal Push. All right. Well, this time we're definitely getting Thalia back. So I guess Sam it is. Ether Vial. Put a Sam into play. Get back the Thalia. Ha-ha. You thought you would stop Dartaxing, did you, opponent? Honestly, I want to see a series of decks for Modern, which is 2015, 2018 style Modern decks in the current era. I want to see Knight of the Reliquary Robina Excavator deck. Oh, do you remember Value Town? Make the extra land drops, Field of Ruin, and Ghost Quarter a bunch of times. I want to see junk with Lingering Souls, mono white tokens with Intangible Virtue. Give them the 2023 spoofs, like replacing Purify with Assassin's Trophy. That's a cool idea. I might actually... I wonder, would other people want to see that? Would other people want to see updates on old Modern decks? Oh, yeah. Value Town, what a cool deck. That was such a sweet deck. That was one of my favorite eras of Modern too, honestly. Well, get in with Sam. Replay Thalia. That's actually a really neat idea. So what would be... Okay, let's say we actually do that. Take old Modern decks, try to update them. What decks would we actually update? Mega Magikarp gave us some good ideas. What else would be good? Also, would you want to see them updated in Modern or updated like on Magic Arena? How updated are we talking about? Are we talking about like teaching Arena Zoomers about 2015 Modern, or like trying to make them work in current Modern? All right, let's Ether Vial. I think we just put a Stoneforge into play. Our opponent's not hitting any land drops anyway, so... yes, we will grab a Cauldra Complete. Value Town! Oh, I kind of want to look up the deck list. That was a beautiful, just a beautiful pile of random, somewhat janky creatures, land destruction loops. I bet you can still, I bet I can find it. I bet there's got to be a Value Town list somewhere on the internet. Well, let's go attacking. Get in, hit ya. Opponent's kind of running out of time. Like, if they don't start doing something soon, they are just gonna die to our beats. We're a deck that functions much better on 2 lands than our opponent's deck, I think. Opponent. Are they mill? Huh? What is our opponent up to? Is this mill with Mikukuru? I guess that kind of makes sense. You mill your opponent's entire deck and then Mikukuru to get the last card. Let me see if I can find... Let me see if I can find the deck list. So there's actually... I feel like Value Town was played on one of the Team Modern Super Leagues I did. So here's Value Town. This was... So the main engine of the deck, so it's a little creature deck, but the main engine is you got a bunch of Ghost Quarters. You also have some Horizon Canopies. So a mana base kind of similar to ours. No Cat Jesus, but that's fine because the plan was just to brute force it. You have extra land drops from Azusa. You have Knight of the Reliquary to find your pieces. You got Ramanam Excavator to be able to play lands from your graveyard. You got Tireless Tracker that's giving you clues as you are playing your land drops so you can draw more cards. So it was like this weird creature taxi engine deck that often won by just like Ghost Quarter locking people out of the game because you get a bunch of extra land drops. Eventually, to run your opponent out of basics and just play a Ghost Quarter from the graveyard with the help of Ramanam Excavator, second to blow up land, Ramanam Excavator, extra land drops with the zoo. So you play like 3 Ghost Quarters from your graveyard, eat all your opponent's land. It was a really cool little engine deck. Would it be historic playable? Maybe. Oh, opponent. No. That's, oh boy. Okay. Opponent. Gonna learn a lesson about indestructibility. Yeah, that's not how that works. Cauldron Complete, it's from Modern Horizons 2 about it. It's from Modern Horizons 2. It's way more busted than that. I think the pieces would exist if you look at it. So you got Mana Dorks on Arena, not these Mana Dorks, but Scavenging Ooze, Voice is coming, Azusa's on Arena, Courser, no Eternal Witness, which is awkward. No Kitchen Finks, but Finks isn't really essential. Knight of the Reliquary, Excavator Tracker. I think there's enough pieces that we could build a version of a Value Town. The question is, how much does it line up with the meta? I know. Do you remember the deck we played? Remember the deck we played for stream? I wish I knew what our opponent was doing. Are they a mill deck? Are they an extra turns deck? I am very uncertain what our opponent's trying to do. Do we want Gaddock Teagues? Are they reanimating stuff? I don't know. I feel like, Metropolis Reformer seems decent. They do seem kind of controlling. We did see like several removal spells. So Murderous Cut, they're milling themselves. I don't have a good sense of what they're up to. What I'm imagining is this would potentially be replaced by Dryad of the Ilsen Grove around the edges. Yeah, you also have like Gitrog Monster. I don't know, did Gitrog exist during the Value Town era? I mean, I guess it probably isn't ideal because it doesn't work with Coco, but the same type of deck that could support Gitrog Monster can support the Value Town engine. Gaddock does shut down Murderous Cut. I haven't seen Murderous Cut in a minute. I have not seen anyone play that card in a minute. Did we cut Solitudes? We can probably trim. I don't know. Our opponent got so mana screwed, we didn't really get to see much of what they were actually trying to do with their deck. Like, really at all. But let's try a couple Gaddocks. We'll see. Give it a shot. You think it's mill? It might be mill. But Murderous Cut's a little weird in mill, isn't it? Unless you're self-milling. Deep Root Wayfinder, I think, I don't know. This is the first time I've ever seriously played Deep Root Wayfinder. It hasn't been impressive, but we also haven't drawn it much. So I think it still might be good, and we just haven't actually had the games where it's good yet. But can I get a bugle? Oh, I may or may not be playing some bugler rats for Commander Clash tomorrow, actually. I have a question for you, Jet. What do you feel about Chromonics the Rat King in Commander? This will keep 2 Stoneforge. Let's put you know what? Let's just put Giver to the bottom. We're just gonna brute force the Stoneforge. What do you think of Chromonics the Rat King? This is a card that, like, it seems like such a cool rat commander, but it also randomly gives toxic, which I feel like some people really dislike poison. So I feel like it's a really cool rat commander that also has the downside of, like, making everyone hate you because of toxic. Ooh, Norin. It's been a minute since we played Norin too. Remember Norin Sisters? Oh. It's fine. I do see people's twist on it. It's literally always the same deck for the exact same reason. I mean, it is kind of the same. You want to play a bunch of rats, and there's only like 50 rats or something in Magic, so you kind of just end up playing all the rats that exist. Abundant. Hedron Crab. All right, are you milling us or are you milling yourself? Huh. All right, so our opponent is just mill. Well, that means Gaddock Teeg is going to be worse. Well, go Stoneforge. Extraction Specialist is going to be good. Can we somehow be fast enough? Opponent passes. We'll play a Plains. We will slam a Stoneforge Mystic. Stoneforge Mystic. Oh no, are we going to get Archive Trapped into oblivion? We are searching our library. That is a thing. Stoneforge. 4... I mean, it's got to be Calder Complete. Calder Complete, go. No Archive Traps, please. Okay, no Archive Traps. That's a bit of good news. That's a bit of good news. What do you usually have for dinner in the U.S.? Oh no, double crabs. That's a, What is a typical dinner in the U.S.? I mean, pasta, meat. I guess it really depends on how. I think it also depends on your personal eating habits. But meatloaf, mashed potatoes, chicken, cheeseburger, steak and potatoes. Yeah, a salad, burger and fries. I think that's kind of like, wow, opponents. Kind of going on. Well, now we know what they're doing now. They are just actually straight up mill. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. Well, we will play a Field of Ruin, and we'll play a Extraction Specialist. Not feeling super confident about being fast enough here, though. Extraction Specialist. Get back. Stoneforge Mystic. Stoneforge. Grab a... Fire and Ice or Light and Shadow? Probably Fire and Ice. Fire and Ice can actually just snipe crabs, which seems worth it. Pass the turn. What is a typical dinner where you are, Corneas? Here in Brazil, the usual rice, beans, salad, some meat. We can do it every dinner. It's always amazing. I feel like rice is one of the most underrated foods in America. Rice is like really... Oh, they drew an Archive Trap. 22 cards. And they got this. That's... Oh! Why? You had him in hand and just didn't cast him? That's a... Well, okay. Well, we are sort of milled out. Just a smidge. Double crabs. Double crabs will do it. Tasha's hideous laughter. Sure. Well, I don't know why they didn't cast those earlier if they had them in hand, but... Well, okay, now we know what our opponent's doing. And we know what we're trying to fight. And we know that our sideboard plan for game 1 was not exactly what we want for this matchup. So... Gaddock Tea doesn't actually do much. Solitude, probably necessary to kill crabs. Samwise Stoneforge, Thalia. Yeah, this is... So Metropolis Reformer seems really good. That seems great. The challenge we have is we don't really have all that fast of a clock. Our clock is kind of medium to slow. Yeah, let's try something like that. I feel like Rice is pretty underrated, though. All right, we get to play first. All right, we'll keep. I think Metropolis Reformer is actually sneakily an all-star against our opponent's deck. Just having hexproof seems really big. Like, they can't target it with crabs. A decent amount of their mill targets, not all of it, but a decent amount. So I feel like if we can get down Reformer, that can do some work. Opponent. Most Americans don't know how to season it and don't know rice cooker. That's probably why. I mean, I guess it's not as common of a meal here as it is in some other regions of the world. Stoneforge. Well, yes, we shall. Stoneforge Mystic. I swear to God, opponent, if you got multiple archive traps, if you got multiple do we say no? Wait, is there any world where you say no to Stoneforge to play around Archive Trap? Is that just the most insane thing? That's got to be the most insane thing, right? There's no way. There's no way. Is it possible that that could be correct? We already have a Batter's Skull in hand. You know what? It's gotta be incorrect, right? All right. Yeah, okay. I think that's gotta be thinking way too hard. That's too many levels of chess. Watch our opponent just have like 4 in hand. I mean, it's not like we can go through our entire game without fetching anyway, most likely. We got another Stoneforge. We got a few fetch lands. Seems like sooner or later we're gonna accidentally turn on the archive traps. I mean, I think it's correct, although the idea of not doing it is, like, oddly appealing. Archive trap. All right, well, yeah, they did have an archive trap, and they killed our Stoneforge, so we're already down to 39 cards in our library. Opponent plays an island. And passes. Well, take up the Ether Vial. Windswept Teeth, and well, play a Stoneforge. At least now we know we're safe, right? They already spent their archive trap, so what's the worst that can happen? They're around in a lock. All right. Windswept Teeth, crack it. Get a Temple Garden tapped. So we're gonna have to do this super hard mode. Ether Vial, put a Sam into play. Get back the Windswept Teeth. All right, we have successfully resolved a 2-1. We have done it. Pass the turn. Yeah, rice it's a very, very flexible food, right? You can do a lot with it. I feel like I should probably learn how to cook rice better. It's on my list. Learn how to make rice. Opponent, Field of Ruin, and Passes. Well, take up the vial. Go to combat. Get in with the Sam. Play our own Field of Ruin. And pass the turn. Huh. Okay. Well, we have plenty of lands. We're the one that's supposed to be blowing up our opponent's lands, not the other way around. Yeah, let's Vial. Put a Reformer into play. Pass the turn. All right. We have Hexproof, which seems pretty helpful here. Next turn, we can just hardcast a Batter Skull, just the way we drew it up. About it. Polluted Delta. Ugh. We're trying to play around the Fatal Push, but opponent has another fetch. Where's our Archive Trap? Gets a Watery Grave. Tapped. And... Ooh, passes? Passes. Okay. Well, Vial stays on 3. We draw 8 Giver of Runes. We'll go to combat. Hit ya. Opponent down to 12. Windswept Heath. No fear. Get a land. Run out a Batter Skull. Resolves. Pass the turn. Okay, I think we might have it. I think we might have it. Opponent. Hold. It's Batter Skull. It actually resolved too. I was definitely worried there was going to be a counter, but there was not a counter. I mean, now we have a pretty fast clock, and we have Hexproof. So our opponent needs to kill this to do most of their stuff. And we have a 2-turn clock even if they do. I kind of like where we're at now. Yo, I've never played this. Only MTGA. Do the doubleheader EDH. Ooh, what is the doubleheader EDH? So, if you've never played Magic Online, I like Magic Online. I always recommend it to people. There's some big upsides. Like, you get EDH, which is really cool. You also get Modern, which we're playing now. You get Legacy, you get improved cube drafts like Vintage Cube with all the Power 9 stuff. So it actually is a pretty sweet option. The other thing that's really cool about it is, well, go attacking. The other thing that's really nice is they've started doing this subscription thing where it only lasts for like so many weeks, a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 for certain events, but you can pay a subscription fee and just get all the cards, which I wish they would do that. I wish they would do that on Arena, and opponent scoops it up. All right, we can take down Mill. I guess there's still a chance we get a treasure chest here. How do you ever get Lotus on Moto without renting? So they have those events where they kind of rent through the store. There's one actually going on right now where it's like the Mythic Event Token. Mythic Event Token, you purchase this, you have all the cards, you get entry into an event, and you get all the cards for a set period of time. I think it's like 2 weeks roughly. So what I think will happen eventually, right now there's a bunch of card rental programs that are like secondary market stuff, like third parties run them. I would not be surprised if eventually they're all run just directly through Wizards or through Daybreak Games that runs Moto. Like, I think they'll just have an official renter program where you pay so much and you just get access to all the cards. That's my expectation, at least. More interested in how you get it, not how to buy. Wait, I think I'm confused by your question, Cure Royal. How do you get what? Went 3-1 with Rakdos Scam. Inclusion of Bowmasters is the truth. Yeah, Bowmasters is quite the card. It really is. So good. Well, let's get a Temple Gardener. Untap. Solitude. Do we even run anything out? I feel like if we run anything out here, it's just gonna... Oh, it's gonna get bolted, right? Yeah, let's just pass. We can always flash Salmon just for no value. Opponent. Okay. Well. Okay. So, opponent playing Living End. That is very scary. Opponent Breeding Pool. Untapped. Well, we will run out of Sam. Yeah, this is going to be tricky now. We want to get Sam to Lumo to get stuff in our graveyard, I think, is our main goal. Before they Living End. Untap. Windswept Teeth. Well, go to combat. Hit you with the Sam. About it. Maybe Cat Jesus can save us. Maybe. I mean, we do have a Ghost Quarter. Yeah, let's Windswept Teeth. Crack it. I mean, if our opponent cycles here, we can Ghost Corduroy one of their lands, which is kind of big. Wow, they just cycle. Okay. Finds a Steam Vents. And cycles. Oh, those are all land cyclers. Okay, gets a Stomping Grounds. So if we untap... Oh, do we have to... I think we have to spend a Ghost Quarter. It hurts. It would be better next turn when we could start blinking Sam, but I think we have to blow it up or else they just Living End right here and we lose. Hopefully we draw another one. That would be nice. Opponent straight Riverwinder cycled. Yeah, Vintage Cube is pretty awesome. Oh, Bear was here earlier. He's I think he's in the other room sleeping now, but he was on stream for a minute earlier at the beginning of the stream. Come on, big draw Stoneforge. Not big enough. Well, go to combat. Attack. Play Horizon Canopy. So we can pitch Solitude. Get it in the they just have so much in the graveyard though. A lot of Lord of the Rings cards too. The land cyclers paying off apparently. What can we do that is relevant? Yeah, we can put Solitude in the yard, I guess. The problem is they have a big graveyard. Like if they Cascade here, like, and they have to Cascade here because they're gonna die. Seriously. Well, okay, Ephemerate. Yeah, that's too much. 5-5-5-5 6-4-6-4 5-7. So Grave is going to put a creature in the graveyard, but then our opponent just cascades and we can't possibly... Yeah, well, we'll make him cascade, but there's no way we can win from here. Yeah, Living End has really taken off since the Lord of the Rings set. I mean, it's always been floating around is like a solid tier 1, tier 2 deck, but it's definitely gotten better. I mean, they're just gonna cascade, right? I expect. About it. Yeah, here it comes. Sure. Yeah, that's not beatable. All right. Yeah. All right. Come on, sideboard. What do we got in the sideboard? So Gaddock Teague doesn't do anything. Containment Priest does something. Traneth Magistrate does something. Archon of Emeria does something. Maybe this is why there was a playset of Archons in that original deck. I bet that was it. I bet it was mostly to be good against Living End, because it is very good against Living End. So maybe that's the tag. I guess Sanctifier might even be worth it. It gets rid of some things, right? I don't know if it gets rid of enough things, but it does get rid of some things, and that's probably better than... is Ephemera even good in this matchup? Probably not. All right, let's try it like that. Is this deck why Grief has doubled in price recently? Probably partly. I think we're also just going to see Modern Horizons 2 stuff start to shoot up. If the stories about the print run finally running out are actually true, I think we're going to see the slow and steady climbing of a lot of these cards, because that set just... In some way, like, I know that Modern's really expensive, and even some of the cards in this set are pretty expensive, but it's still kind of flooring to me that, like, they reprinted fetch lands enough that they're like $15. Some of them are $12. Like, in a lot of ways, Modern Horizons 2, even though, yes, there's some power level issues that we've definitely talked about with Ragavans and Endurances and stuff, it's really amazing that they actually printed half of the fetch lands enough that they're really pretty reasonably priced. I don't know, I guess some people would, like, $19, $12 is still a lot, but considering the history of fetch lands and normally what happens when they get reprinted, like, even they were reprinting them in master sets, like Scalding Tarn, and just, you know, $100, and it drops down to like 70, and then it goes back up to 80, then it drops down to 60, and then it goes back up to 80. Like, this is the first time since these have been printed in Zendikar, like in the last decade, that they have actually printed them enough to actually have a meaningful impact on the price. So as much as Modern Horizons gets, rightly, I think, criticism for some of the power level stuff, I think it deserves more praise than it gets for just how much Wizards printed of it, which allowed it to actually have a really big impact on prices, like a pretty surprisingly big impact on prices. Well, go, one land Ether Vial, but we do have some hate cards. And even, I think that also, yeah, I remember $70 Scarling Turns for sure. I remember 100, at one point they were $100, so expensive. And I think that also applies to a lot of the new cards. Like, the fact that Yavimaya which is very heavily played, is $8, or like Duthi Voidwalker, $8, Imperial Recruiter, $5, Mirari Wake. Like, you go through the list, there's a lot of really good cards in this set that are a few dollars. We just lost to Dress Down against that combo deck. It's only a couple bucks and it actually sees play. So I think Wizards does deserve a shout out for this. You can buy a booster box MH2 for $190. Like, that's what has allowed the prices to stay reasonable, is even though the set's 2 years old now, Wizards just kept printing more of it and more of it, more of it. So you could always, for the last 2 years, you had the ability to just get a box at a reasonable price. I think that's going to change. Like, just from what I've heard behind the scenes, that it sounds like Wizards, or the distributors, are no longer going to have boxes to sell to local game stores. They're finally ending the print runs. So I think that's going to start to change, and we're going to start to see potentially prices creeping up a bit. But printing it for 2 years that's not normal. We haven't seen Wizards do that before. So I hope we see more of that. Like, I think we need more of those, like, huge print run sets, especially for those super popular supplemental sets. Like, more of that's a good thing for players. Fetchers are in a weird place. They're honestly the best lands that have ever been printed. There's just so much utility between graveyard fillers, sack triggers, fixing. Yeah, that's the thing about fetch lands is they're lands that are way more than just lands. Do you think that if they continue to print the Lord of the Rings for that long, eventually high value cards will drop? So yes and no. Let's play this turn. Another Deep Root Wayfinder. So I think the answer is, I would say yes and no. So on one hand, yes, continuing to print the Lord of the Rings set will help keep prices in check. Boy, I wish we had drawn more than a land here. I don't even know if we can actually do enough. So we can put a Wayfinder into play. Opponent Stomping Grounds. And passes. Well, Aether Vial. Put a Wayfinder into play. Opponent. I mean, we can pitch the Solitudes just to get them in the graveyard. Whether or not that ends up being enough, that is up for debate. All right, Vial. Staying on 2. Another Vial. I'll go to combat. Attack you. Wow, opponent's gonna let it go? Okay. Well, graveyard the Stoneforge Mystic. No land of... Boy, this Deep Root Wayfinder is... I don't think it's rammed us once. Have we rammed it all with Deep Root Wayfinder? I don't think we've rammed it all with Deep Root Wayfinder. Well, play another Aether Vial, pass the turn. So I think... Yes, if Wizards just keeps reprinting the Lord of the Rings set, I think that'll have an impact on prices. I think one of the issues is, if you look at the Lord of the Rings set, a lot of the prices have already, like, really the Nazguls are keeping the prices up way more than it would look. A lot of the cards, like Arwen at $2, Boromir at $3, it's hard for me to imagine those cards going too much lower. Where I think we'll see, hopefully, an impact is like Nazgul's dropping, the One Ring dropping, Bowmaster's dropping. Like, it's hard for me to imagine those cards staying that expensive. Like, maybe the One Ring, actually, maybe it stays up because it is just such a over-the-top, ridiculous card. Like, I don't think we've ever really seen a card like the One Ring having an impact like it has across formats as a colorless card. At least in the last, like, I don't even know. When was the last colorless card that had this big of an impact? About it. Okay, there's the Violent Outburst. So we need to Solitude. Pitch a Sam. Well, we'll see if they have Graveyard Hate. If they don't have Graveyard Hate, Karn, I don't think Karn is a good choice, but I don't think it's as impactful. It's very good in specific decks, but the One Ring doesn't ask anything of you. Like, Karn, you need to play... Wow. Opponent has a Subtlety. That's actually kind of super big for our opponent. Okay, well, Solitude. Yeah, that was... Our opponent, I guess, was waiting to draw an answer, and draw an answer they did. Well, Solitude to the bottom. Opponent, Living Ends. Opponent wisely did this on their end step, so we don't get to Stoneforge anything. We get rid of the Curator of Mysteries. Yeah, I think our opponent did enough that we can't... I mean, we only have one land, and we know our deck. It's full of nothingness. Yeah, I think they got it. I think they got it. I don't think we can win from here. Well, all right. Vile. Stay on 2, go up to 1. There's the planes when it's too late. I mean, I guess we could draw some huge equipment. Northern Vanguard, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Could have done the second Solitude to exile the Subtlety. Oh yeah, I guess you're right. We could have exiled the Subtlety. Opponent. I don't think it matters though. Like, our board's just not big enough. Like, even without the Subtlety, our opponent's getting 5 mana creatures. We needed our opponent not to Subtlety the Solitude, basically. Our opponent's getting 5/5s and 5/7s. We're getting 1/3s. So we just can't. We can't win the raise, unfortunately. Boy. Huh. Yeah, so this deck, it seems okay, but not, I would say, not super competitive. This is where the deck is so depressing. There's just like so many powerful decks in Modern, and once you get to this position, it's pretty depressing just because there's no, like, we know our deck and it's full of 2/2s, so there's not really any way to actually get out of it. So why don't we learn about Sam's attacks is, will Wizards ever update the MTGO UI from the 90s? Unfortunately not. I think that is very unlikely. I wish that they would, but I think it's more likely that they, I don't even know. I think Wizards has washed their hand of Magic Online. If you read their articles where they announce things, they no longer mention Magic Online. They shipped it off to Daybreak Games. I think that maybe our best bet is Daybreak doing something, and there has been some positive signs since Daybreak took over. I know there's been talk about like updating the Commander UI. They just added Freeform Commander. Magic Online ever looking like Magic Arena is something I've mostly given up on. But some updates around the edges, that seems like a possibility. I could see some, fringe updates around the edges, but yeah, Arena I think is Wizards' focus now. I think they have more or less washed their hands of Magic Online and shipped it off to Daybreak Games. I think that Daybreak has been a positive compared to Wizards as well. I think overall I've been impressed with their responsiveness to the community, listening to feedback, actually wanting to make positive changes. So, is VRAN on Moto yet? I don't believe so. I don't know. Did they add VRAN? I don't think so. It is not. They've been working through some of the backlog. I know eventually they're planning on having all the cards, but I haven't got all the way there yet. Yeah, they've definitely been working on it, which I appreciate. It didn't always feel like Wizards was actually putting much effort into Moto at the end, and it seems like Daybreak is, so. Anyway, everyone, what did we learn about this deck today? And I gotta say, the deck looks a little janky, and I'm sure there were situations where I could have played it better. So I think that I will accept. That I'm sure I could improve on. It's one of those decks that seems lacking in raw power. It can try to do some cool tricks, and it's got some little shenanigans, but it's one of those decks where it feels like almost every game is on hard mode, where every game is like, you gotta eke out every edge, and you're trying to like attack for 2 and try to stay alive. It seems like a little bit of a tough place to be in Modern, where you just have like these rawly powerful decks that are like, I'm just going to play Omnath into the One Ring, into a red. Can you stop it? I'm just going to play the strongest cards that have been printed in the last few years. Our deck's like the opposite of that. It's like, flash in a 2/1, trying to get back a land, attack you. Can we, grow the ring so we can sneak in some extra damage? So I don't think the deck's bad. I would say, if you want to play this deck, I think it's a deck you got to practice a ton. I think you can have success with this deck, but I think you're going to have to play, many, many matches, learn every single trick, every single synergy, because it's not one of these forgiving decks that's just full of powerful cards where you can kind of like play it casually, play it at 80% and get wins with it. I think you got to be able to eke out every single tiny advantage to really have the deck have a chance. I will say, Sam, I think, is legitimately good, and I like Sam a lot. Deeproot Wayfinder, though, maybe it was just her draws. We had a ton of just like one land Ether Vial draws. In our matches, it kind of did straight up nothing, like kind of shockingly little. So I was a little disappointed, I would say, in what we actually got out of Deeproot Wayfinder, but maybe we'll have to try it again in the future. But anyway, reminders on the way out the door. Replay YouTube, that's where you find all the old streams. Normal YouTube, tomorrow we got a wild modern deck going up on the normal YouTube, plus spoilers, so check that out. One more reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Next stream, Tuesday at the normal time. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Y'all are amazing and awesome and spectacular, and I love y'all. I hope you have a great night. Have an amazing weekend, and I will be back on Tuesday for some more streaming action. In the meantime, check out the YouTube. I love y'all. Have a good one, and I will talk to you soon.